सुप्रभात समस्त को नमस्कार। जातीय संपादन द्वितीय दिन कार्यक्रम को आपण मानक समस्त को स्वागत करुछि। निमंत्रित अतिथिगण, शिक्षाविद, शिक्षाधिकारी, विभिन्न महाविद्यालय अध्यक्ष, अध्यापक, अध्यापिका, गवेषक, गवेषिका, गणमाध्यम प्रतिनिधि तथा अनुष्ठान छात्र छात्री मानक मो अभिनंदन जनाउछि। कार्यक्रम संचालक हिसाब से मो सहकारी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर दिलीप कुमार दलाई मोर अंतर अनंततम प्रदेश समस्त को गभीर कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करुछि। आजिकार कार्यक्रम को अतिथि भावे जो माने हम पाखरे आसी पहुंचंती मो समस्त को मंच को स्वागत करी। प्रथमे मो स्वागत करी आज कार्यक्रम मुख्य पृष्ठपोषक अनुष्ठान अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर मनोज कुमार प्रधान महोदय को एवं तांको अनुरोध करी अन्य अतिथिगण को से मध्य मंच को पाछोटी नेबे। मु प्रथमे पुणी स्वागत करी एनसीईआरटी रो प्राक्तन निर्देशक एवं आज मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर ऋषिकेश सेनापति महोदय को से तांको आसन अलंकृत करी। मु पुणी मंच को स्वागत करुछि आज मुख्य वक्ता तथा आंचलिक शिक्षा प्रतिष्ठान भोपाल पूर्वतन अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर नित्यानंद प्रधान महोदय को से स्थान ग्रहण करेंगे। मु पुणी मंच को स्वागत करुछि आम समस्तंकर परिचित चेहरा गुरु प्रतिम डॉक्टर वृंदावन चंद्र मिश्र महोदय को से मध्य स्थान ग्रहण करेंगे। परे परे मंच को स्वागत करी उभय बालेश्वर एवं बारिपदा स्थित शिक्षक शिक्षा महाविद्यालय पूर्वतन अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर संजय कुमार दे महोदय को से मध्य मंच आसीन हेबे। मु पुणी स्वागत करी संबलपुर स्थित परशुराम मिश्र अग्रगामी शिक्षा प्रतिष्ठान प्रोफेसर तथा अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर गरुड़ध्वज बारिक महोदय को से मंच आसीन हेबे। मु पुणी स्वागत करुछि संपादन आवाहक प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर देवेंद्र कुमार सेठी महोदय को से मंच आसीन हेबे। शेष सेमिनार सेक्रेटरी श्रीमान दीपक कुमार को मध्य मो मंच को स्वागत करुछि। मंचासीन अतिथिगण को चारा वृक्ष एवं बैच प्रदान करबा पई मो आम अनुष्ठान छात्र छात्री मान को अनुरोध करी एवं एथिरे सहयोग करबा पई प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर नमिता प्रधान और डॉक्टर रश्मिता पात्र महोदय को मो अनुरोध करी। जूम कर जूम जी होस्ट काम पड़ा जी होस्ट काम पड़ा वर्तमान मु आम अतिथि गण को अनुरोध करी से माने अग्रपूज्य श्री गणनाथ एवं जगतनाथ जगन्नाथ निकट में प्रदीप प्रज्वलन करी कार्यक्रम शुभारंभ करी।
हेलो
छात्र अभिषेक को अनुरोध करी से मंत्र पाठ पूर्वक ये कार्यक्रम को आगे ने
आशुतोष शशांक शेखर चंद्रमौलि चिदंबरा कोटि कोटि प्रणाम शंभु कोटि नमन दिगंबरा निर्विकारोंकार विनाशी तुम्ही देवादिदेव जगत सर्जक प्रलय कर्ता शिवं सत्यं सुंदरा निर्विकार स्वरूप कालेश्वर महायोगीश्वरा दयानिधि दानीश्वर जय जटाधार भयंकरा शूलपाणि त्रिशूलधारी ओगड़ी वागंबरी जय महेश त्रिलोचनाय विश्वनाथ विश्वंभरा नाथ नागेश्वर हरोहर पाप साप विसापतम महादेव मान भोले सदा शिव शिव शंकरा जगतपति अनुरक्ति भक्ति सदैव तेरे चरण हो क्षमा हो अपराध सब जय जयति जगदीश्वरा जन्म जीवन जगत का संताप ताप मिटे सभी ओम नमः शिवाय मन जपता रहे पंचाक्षरा।
स्वागत संगीत कार्यक्रम शुभारंभ अन्यतम आकर्षण मात्र आज ये स्वागत संगीत एक स्वतंत्र एइथिपाई स्वतंत्र जे यह कार्यक्रम आधारित एक स्वागत संगीत जहा को रचना करिसंती अनुष्ठान सहकारी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर रामचंद्र माझी एवं तांको स्वर संयोजना करिसंती अध्यापक श्रीयुक्त भागीरथी महापात्र भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा कौशल आधारित एवं नूतन शिक्षा नीति आधारित 2020 को आधार करी संगीतटी रचना करा जायछि निश्चित भाबे आपण मानको हृदय को छुइबो आशा करिवि एवं मो छात्र छात्री मानको अनुरोध करिवि जे संगीत प्रारंभिक संगीत गान करिवि।
पवित्र न्याय नीति सुफल संजम ज्ञाने आदिति आजिर सुफल गाने हे आदिति प्रणाम तव चरणे
समस्त को आउ करे करतळे दे स्वागत करिवो एवं अरे लाइव कहि रखुची एवं अंतरर अनंततम प्रदेशरु आमे गभीर कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करूछु ए संगीतर रचयिता डॉक्टर रामचंद्र माझी एवं सरकार श्रीयुत भागीरथी महापात्र ए उभय को एवं जो माने ये गीतटी को ए संगीत को आपण माने को सुने मंत्रमुग्ध करिसंती एमएड रो छात्र छात्री छात्री माने को विशेष करी से माने को मध्यम और आंतरिक शुभेच्छा एवं कृतज्ञता। आज जो अतिथि गण एठी मंचासीन होइछंती से माने शिक्षा जगतर उज्जवलतम ज्योतिष्क निजे निज पई तयारी करथिबा स्वतंत्र परिचिति तथापि परंपरार आवश्यकता को आखि आगे रखी मो अतिथि पर्व परिचय प्रदान करने को मंच को स्वागत करी सहकारी प्रोफेसर श्रीमती काली पटनायक महोदय को से मुख्य वक्ता प्रोफेसर नित्यानंद प्रधान एवं प्रोफेसर गौरध्वज बारिक महोदय परिचय प्रदान करें।
समस्त को नमस्कार। एस्टेम्ड कीनोट स्पीकर प्रोफेसर नित्यानंद प्रधान सर, चीफ गेस्ट प्रोफेसर ऋषिकेश सेनापति सर, गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर डॉक्टर वृंदावन चंद्र मिश्र सर, गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर प्रोफेसर गौरध्वज बारिक सर, गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर प्रोफेसर संजय सर, the principal of this institution Professor Manoj Kumar Pradhan sir, convener of this seminar Dr. Professor Devendra Sethi sir, faculties of this institution, faculties from other institution, then research scholars, students. It is my proud privilege to introduce the chief speaker of this program, the keynote speaker of this 2 days national seminar on the topic reconstructing higher education for global competitiveness in light of NEP 2020. Professor Nityananda Pradhan sir, who was the former principal of RI NCERT Bhubaneswar. Prior to this, he served as principal RI Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, Joint Director, PSS Central Institute of Vocational Education, Head Departments of Education and Extension Education, Northeast Regional Institute of Education, NCERT, Shillong, Leader and Head of Department of Education, Ravenshaw University, Cuttack, Deputy Director, State Institute of Education, Planning and Training, Deputy Director, OPEPA, Bhubaneswar, Reader and Head Postgraduate Department of Education, Government College, Koraput, Odisha, Teacher Educator, Diet, Fulbani, Project Officer, UNICEF, Assisted Area Intensive Education Project, Human Resource Development, DEO in Khajuriapata and Phiringia Block, Fulbani, District Odisha, and Assistant Teacher under Government of Odisha in 2 high schools. Sir has completed 31 research projects funded by state, national and international agencies, that is Planning Commission, New Delhi, Planning and Coordination Department, Government of Odisha, UGC, NCERT, New Delhi, UNICEF, UNESCO in diverse areas of environmental education, adult education, education of scheduled children, school education, teacher education and instructional design. As many as Sir has produced 19 scholars in PhD degree and 15 scholars have been awarded MPhil degree in education and tribal studies. Sir has also guided a number of students for their dissemination as MA dissertation in MA education and MEd. Sir has developed a number of instructional materials for teachers, academic leaders, and teacher educators on training strategies, ICT pedagogy integration, action research, training of social sciences, constructive pedagogy, adult science education, distance education, educational assessment, educational leadership, 21st century skills etc. and has presented a number of papers in national and international seminars and conferences in diverse areas of school education, teacher education, ICT education, instructional design and environmental education. Sir has published as many as 65 papers, including 25 research papers in the journals and edited books of national and international repute. Sir has been invited by the NAC as a member of peer team, has visited to different teacher training institutions of the country for assessment and accreditation. Sir has visited South Korea, Seoul as officiating joint director of PSS Central Institute of Vocational Education in connection with discussion on MOU between Academy of Korean Studies and NCERT on 5 areas of education, including vocational education, and made a presentation on establishment of vocational demonstration multipurpose school (BDMS) NCERT Bhopal. Sir has also visited Bangkok, Thailand to attend 4 EAS TVT project providers, network conference, and capacity building workshops, and made a presentation on the theme Integration Green Skills in Teacher Development Program, a collaborative institutional approach. Sir has took part in the Global HR Forum from Global HR Forum East Asia Pacific workshop, and Sir has also organized by the South Korea and Research Institution, that is KREBET at Seoul, South Korea. It is our proud privilege to get Sir as the chief speaker of this program, and Sir is also my teacher. So it's my great privilege, sir, to introduce you and getting you as a chief speaker of this program. Welcome to sir, this program. Thank you. Along with, I am going to introduce my another teacher, my teacher, another guest of honor of this program, Professor Garudadas Parik sir. Sir, now Principal PMIASE. Sir has 25 years of teaching experience in B.Ed, M.Ed, and M.Phil, and published 17 journals and 2 books, and research and having guided to the 87 numbers of MA and M.Phil scholars and 4 numbers of PhD scholars. So it's a great privilege, sir, to get you as a chief guest of honor in this seminar. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद मैडम। एवं मु मंच को स्वागत करी श्रीमती सुमति सेठी महोदया को। से आज मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर ऋषिकेश सेनापति महोदय परिचय प्रदान करेंगे एवं अन्यतम अतिथि श्रीयुक्त संजय कुमार प्रोफेसर संजय कुमार देय परिचय प्रदान करेंगे।
Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, other participants from different places, dear colleagues and my research scholars, also dear my students. Welcome to the second day of this national seminar, which is on the theme of restructuring higher education on the global competence in the light of NEP 2020. And I welcome to this type of grateful session because we have grateful persons. Now I am going to introduce a greatest educationist, we can say personality. As sir was not the direct teacher of mine, but I have known him since my student days from RI Bhubaneswar. So now I am going to introduce about Professor Hrusikesh Senapati sir. Professor Hrusikesh Senapati sir was a greatest educationist. He is a distinguished educationist, researcher and academic administrator who has made significant contributions to the teacher education, educational technology and school education in India. He has served in several prestigious academic and administrative positions at national and state levels. He has been associated with the Regional Institution of Education NCERT Bhubaneswar and also served at the Regional Institution of Education NCERT Bhopal. He worked as reader in education, lecturer in education under the Department of Higher Education, Government of Odisha, and later served as Professor of Education, Head Department of Extension Education, Head Department of Education and Dean Faculty of Education, Utkal University. Professor Senapati's research methodology, training materials and instructional strategy packages for elementary and secondary teacher education programs sponsored by NCERT and other national agencies. He has also conducted extensive research on school education, teacher training, constructivist pedagogy, classroom transaction, educational technology, and rural education. His studies include evaluation of teacher training programs under SSA, constructive approaches in mathematics learning, policies for rural basic education, evaluation of Operation Blackboard, professional needs of elementary teachers, and several national and international collaborative projects. Also, sir has published a large number of research papers, more than 51 book chapters and articles in national and international journals on topics such as constructivist pedagogy, ICT integrated education, multiple intelligence framework, collaborative learning, teacher education reform, educational technology, cognitive development, and innovative teaching materials. Professor Senapati is widely respected for his contributions to educational research Also, he has completed more than 35 number of projects. Some of them are pedagogical uses of ICT for teacher education 2012, implications of emerging pedagogy with reference to NCA 2005 for teacher educators 2012, and so many are there. Again, Professor Senapati sir has participated in different 51 programs, more than 50 programs for the professional development. Some of our participated and presented a paper in International Forum on Education in Poverty in China from 25 to 26 July 2019. Participated and presented a paper in 2018 Asia Pacific Regional Global Citizenship from 3 to 4 May 2018, and so many are there. Also, sir has more than 15 number of projects sir has undertaken. Some of our consultations related to new educational policy in states and UTS. Consultation with regard to NEP were conducted by the NCRT, and the grassroots consultation with various stakeholders on NEPs earlier. Draft was conducted and state and the UT was then Ministry of Education also led the analysis of around 1.5 lakh suggestions received with regard to the committees on various aspects of school education. Again, during the lockdown, COVID-19 pandemic, SAR has led the development of alternative academic calendar for all the classes in all the subject areas to encourage or engage children, guiding the education system, like Pragatya guidelines for online education, Nistha online guidance and counseling, live interaction session, Sahyog, students learning enhancements, guidelines, etc. Also, SAR has organized more than 20 number of seminar, workshop and training program. Some of them are conducted a training program on ICT integrated learning materials on basic school subject West Bengal, February 2009 at RI Bhubaneswar. Also conducted a training program on research methodology and computer based. So many things are there about sir. I feel so much proud that on this type of platform I got the opportunity to introduce sir as a chief guest. Sir, welcome to our DPIASE family, sir, and welcome to this national seminar, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining with us. Next, also I am here to introduce about the other personality. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Sanjay Kumar, sir, a distinguished academician in the field of education. He was born on 23rd November 1965 in the village of Baleshwar district, Odisha, in a teacher family. Dr. De holds BSc in chemistry, BEd, MEd and PhD in education. He began his career as a lecturer in education in 1999 and has served in several reputed institutions including DAV City Koraput, City Baleshwar and UG City Baripada. With more than 3 decades of teaching experience, he has held important academic and administrative positions such as senior lecturer, reader, associate professor and professor in education, and he has also served as principal, contributing significantly to academic leadership. Dr. De has actively participated in national and international seminars, workshops and training programs in areas like research methodology, science teaching and evaluation. Under his guidance, 3 scholars have been completed the PhD and currently 6 students pursuing doctoral courses under his guidance. Thank you so much, sir. We are very much privileged to have you in this platform. Thank you so much, sir.
धन्यवाद मैडम। एबे पुणी मु मंच को स्वागत करिवि अन्यतम अतिथि प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर वृंदावन चंद्र मिश्र महोदय को परिचय प्रदान करबा पई एबे मु श्रोनिता मैडम को अनुरोध करूची से तांकर ए कार्यक्रम आगु नेबे।
Thank you, Dilip sir. Samastaku namaskar. Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, invited guests from different colleges, research scholars, paper presenters, and dear students. So, on behalf of all the organizing team and DPIASE Berhampur, I welcome you all to second day of national seminar on the topic Restructuring Higher Education for Global Competitiveness in the Light of NEP 2020. So, it's my proud privilege and honor to introduce my teacher, my guru, my mentor, Professor Vrindavan Chandra Mishra sir. Really, it's an honor to introduce sir in this platform. So, if I talk about sir, then sir was born in the year 1956, and sir has worked in various colleges, teacher education colleges in Odisha. But sir has retired as a reader in education from this institute, that is DPIASE Berhampur. Sir has nearly 34 years of teaching experiences, 28 years of research experiences, and sir has produced 25 number of PhD scholars, and many of us are sitting here. Dr. Nivedita sir, Dr. Vocational sir, Dr. Rasmita Kumari Patra ma'am, all are his scholars, and it's a great honor for all of us. Next, sir has guided around 30 number of MPhil students, 50 number of MAd students, 20 number of MA education students, and sir has published around 40 number of articles in various journals of national and international repute. Sir has published around 10 number of books, and sir has also completed various report at national level and state level project also has been completed by Vrindavan sir. And sir has also worked as expert in workshops, around 10 number of workshops sir has conducted. And sir has also been conducted in-service programs for the secondary school teachers. 40 number of programs has been conducted by sir. And sir is a member of Board of Studies in Education for Kalikot University, Berhampur University. And sir has also received Lifetime Achievement Award by NIC New Delhi in the year 2007. And talking about various membership in different committees, sir is a member of on NCT, New Delhi, Central University, Koraput, Odisha, Kalikot University, Berhampur, and many other universities. Sir, actually it's my great honor and privilege to welcome you, sir. So thank you for keeping our invitation and being here for today's national seminar. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद मैडम आपणकर भाव प्रवणता को आम समस्ते सम्मान दौचु एवं सारंकर आशीर्वाद अनुष्ठान प्रति सब एमती सदा आम पर आशीष वर्षा आम समस्ते कामना करवा एबे उभय प्रतिमा पूजा एवं प्रतिभा पूजा ये आम परंपरार अन्यतम वैशिष्ट्य तेणु ये प्रतिभा पूजा कार्यक्रम को संपादना करने मु प्रथमे आमर अध्यक्ष महोदय को अनुरोध करी आज मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर ऋषिकेश सेनापति महोदय को से उत्तरीय प्रदान सह स्मारक प्रदान करी स्वागत करें। एवं कार्यक्रम आवाहक प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर देवेंद्र कुमार सेठी महोदय को अनुरोध करी से डॉक्टर संजय कुमार देव महोदय को उत्तरीय प्रदान सह स्मारक प्रदान आउ थे पुणी मु अनुरोध करी आज अन्यतम अतिथि प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर गरुड़ध्वज बारिक महोदय को मध्य से उत्तरीय प्रदान करी। एवं मु आजिकार मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर ऋषिकेश सेनापति महोदय को अनुरोध करी से अन्यतम अतिथि डॉक्टर वृंदावन चंद्र मिश्र महोदय को उत्तरीय सह स्मारक प्रदान करें। समस्त को धन्यवाद। शिक्षानुष्ठान कैलेंडर हेउछि गोटे दर्पण। वर्तमान से समय उपस्थित होइछि। आज से दर्पण उन्मोचन कार्यक्रम मो मुख्य अतिथि महोदय को अनुरोध करी से उन्मोचन करी एवं एथि सहित मो अनुरोध करी सहकारी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर निवेदिता कर एवं डॉक्टर रामचंद्र माझी महोदय को से कार्यक्रम में सहयोग करेंगे। एथि सहित पुणी मो मंच को स्वागत करी श्रीमती काली पटनायक महोदया एवं सुरंजिता मैडम तथा डॉक्टर संतोष कुमार जेना महोदय को से मध्य आसी उपस्थित हे कारण आमर सोभनियर मध्य एटी उन्मोचित हो। समस्त को आउ थे धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करुचे। आम समस्त मुख्य आकर्षण आज उत्सव मुख्य वक्ता प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर नित्यानंद प्रधान महोदय को मो मंच को स्वागत करी से तांकर अभिभाषण प्रदान करी।
कनेक्ट कर दिए हम जाई के लगा अरे मिथुन इथे मोबाइल अछि तो पाखर अछि उल्टा उल्टा अरे बाबू
ଏଇଠି ଲଗେଇଦେବା କି? ଅଛି। ଏଇଠି ଲଗେଇଲେ ମୁଁ କରିଥାନ୍ତି। ଜୟ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ। Respected principal and chairperson of the session, Professor Manoj Kumar Pradhan, chief guest, Professor Rushikesh Senapati, other guests on the dais, Professor Sanjay Kumar Dev, Professor Gaurav Bari, Professor Devendra Kumar Sethi, Professor B.C. Mishra, Professor Sri Deepak Kumar, Seminar Secretary, and on the other side of the dais, Professor Rishi Behera and other faculty members of this students, media persons, if any, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to convey my grateful thanks to the principal and other organizers of the seminar for inviting me as the keynote speaker of this session, today's session. So the topic of the seminar is restructuring higher education for global competitiveness in the light of in the light of NEP 2020. I have made a bit change. I prefer to make it transforming Indian higher education for global competitiveness and aligning with the vision is what are the vision of Indian education as stated in NEP 2020 and the concept and vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047. So why I add this concept, because this is also equally important when we are going to do any educational activity or any activity, economic or whatever. We have to also take into account the vision of Viksit Bharat. So almost the vision of Viksit Bharat and the NEP 2020, they are aligned. So I identified 9 aspects of transformation that has been proposed in our national education policy. Although some aspects are not there, but they have been reflected in different sections of national education policy. Keeping into the time, I will go maybe up to 4 or up to 5. If time permits, I may go up to 9. But when my time is over, please remind me so that I will stop. So there is no problem. Therefore, I have marked it like this. So when we are talking about restructuring or reimagining or whatever you may say, like transforming Indian higher education in the light of NEP 2020, for global competitiveness. Then I first thought that it must be aligned with the 4th industrial revolution, that is called IR 4.0. It means that the world is at the stage of 4.0, and our education system in the world globally, because we are competing globally and we are trying to make it our education global standard. So first I wanted to discuss that. Then also vocational education, skilling and employability. This can lead India to help India to compete globally to other developing and developed country of the world. Similarly, also strengthening academic research. As you all know, research and development is lacking in India, and for strengthening academic research, without strengthening research and development activities, our India cannot compete with the other parts of the country, the other parts of the world. Similarly, pedagogy broadly conceived can also transform India to Bharat. Similarly, making higher education more humane. You see, presently, our we are talking of technology, use of technology in all aspects of education, but our education system must balance between technology development and human aspect that takes into account the compassion, fellow feeling, and teamwork kind of things. So let us come to the vision. First is vision of Indian education. These are the 5 broad vision, 6 broad vision of Indian education. That our education system must be rooted in Indian ethos. We talk about the rooted system of education. We have to go back to our roots, and our culture or civilization is around 5,000 years old. If we talk about Indus Valley civilization, that one of the oldest civilization, and it is also older than your Greek civilization. So we have to go back to the root if you want to convert India to Bharat, because Bharat, India is a colonial term, as we say, and now our policy says that we have to convert or transform India to Bharat. Then second one is to make India knowledge superpower. Very frequently, our Prime Minister says that we will be knowledge superpower. Knowledge superpower. How can we be knowledge superpower? Unless and until every Indian, whether rich or poor, whether socially advantaged or disadvantaged, must have the opportunity to have education. And third one is respect towards our constitutional values, our fundamental duties and rights. And third one is everybody must feel proud of being Indian. So we that is also have been eroded to the colonialization, and that colonial attitude also is still continuing, and therefore every student, every Indian should feel proud of their country. And next one is global citizenship. Global citizenship, is a concept that is our idea. That is our idea. That Vasudeva Kutumbakam, Ayam Nija Parageti, Ganana Lakuchetasam, Udar Charitanatu, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. It means that our culture says that the entire world is one family, and that idea is also envisioned, and we want to become Vishwaguru. Once upon a time, we were Vishwaguru. You know about Nalanda University, Taxila University, and Vallavi, and also currently the Pushpagiri University, which is older than Nalanda University. Must know that it is situated in our Jajpur district, Langudi Hills of Jajpur district. Again, we wish to become Vishwaguru. We have to bring back to that position. So this is vision of these are the 6 visions of Indian education, and these 6 visions have been reflected, must be reflected in the all curricular and curricular areas and curricular activities. That is the idea. And the second one is another important target of the of the country. Very frequently, the government also has prepared a roadmap for that. That is to make India Viksit Bharat by 2047. And the idea is that to make India economically strong, socially inclusive, technologically advanced, environmentally sustainable, and a knowledge superpower by 2047. It is a gigantic task before the government. So, and you see, these ideas also have been reflected in our NEP 2020. And therefore, this is the idea. And another idea also, Jan Bhagidari. That means the interference of the government will be less in different development sectors. So, Jan Bhagidari means responsibility of the people. The onus of development goes to, in a democratic country like India, goes to the people of this country. So, coming to its vision, like a prosperous, developed, prosperous, and inclusive India, strong economy with advanced infrastructure, equitable education and health system, sustainable and green development, technology-driven governance, and social justice and unity. So these are the vision of Viksit Bharat. And the same vision also you can see when we are discussing about the vision of National Education Policy 2020. So I'm just running quickly because of constraint of time. So how much time can I take, sir? 30 minutes. Okay.
Sir, not that opportunity to get last. Sorry for the interest. Just go through all of the aspects. Whatever you want to cover.
But okay. Let me try to. So first one is aligning education with the fourth industrial revolution. That is called IR 4.0. So now the world is at industrial revolution 4.0, and you see also fourth education revolution. That is ER 4.0. You can see what is the industry 4.0. Industry 4.0, see advancement of artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things like big data and automation. So now the characteristics of industrial revolution is use of these high-fi technologies, advanced technology in industry sector. So this term industry 4.0 or industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, these have been developed or coined by World Economic Forum. So now physical and software components interact with each other. If you we have visited many industry, even Professor Senapati and me, together to Seoul in the context of seeing their development of their industry. And we also in Bhopal visited 42 industries, and we found only 10% of the industries they are following this AI, robotics, IoT, and automation. That means in this you find in the developed country like South Korea, with very less people, and their machines are functional. They are all programmed. Internet is connected with machine. That is the idea. And so fusion of physical and digital technology. Physical technology means machine, and digital technology, as you know, internet. Similarly, just simply your phone, mobile smartphone. It is a thing, but internet is connected. So IoT is working with your smartphone. Now even smart cars, smart board, and so many things are there. So and factories have become smart factories. Like you say, smart phone. Similarly, smart factories. So these are the things to enhance the productivity and the global competitiveness. What you say, to make global competitiveness, we have to keep
our industries are passed with Industry 4.0. The characteristics of 4.0. You see, these are the industrial revolution in 18th century. First industrial revolution, water and steam power. Water and steam power was used. Second revolution, electric power was used for mass production. And the third revolution, in beginning of 1970, electronics, that's the information technology, digital revolution happened in 1970. And the fourth industrial revolution that started in 2018 roughly, and it is characterized by your use of smart technology like artificial intelligence and so on. So now it is used in our country. These are the features: smart technology, AI, robotics, IoT, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, cyber physical system, like this. And coming to education 4.0 to support industry 4.0. If you want to become globally competitive, then and wish to follow industry 4.0, then you have to also follow all the characteristics of education 4.0. That will only support. We cannot be at education 1.0 or 2.0. So it is just an approach in our education. Always, most of the time, education follows industrial revolution. Education follows the industrial revolution. Also, there are situations industrial revolution follows education revolution. So this is the idea that NEP 2020 will see. Let us see the characteristics of education 4.0, which reflects all the recommendations of NEP. So personalized and adaptive learning. Personalized learning. Learning is personal, not mass learning. Like this 100 or 200 students will be sitting and teacher will be teaching. Now the characteristics of education 4.0 is personalized learning. And digital literacy and technology integration of technology, that is also there in our, these two characteristics are also there in our NEP 2020. Lifelong learning and orientation. We are in we have adopted a global education agenda which talks about lifelong learning opportunity. And project-based and experiential learning. As you all know, experiential learning is the buzzword of NEP 2020. Like constructivism was the buzzword of your National Curriculum Framework 2005. Now, experiential learning, project-based learning, anywhere, anytime learning. That when you use technology, because if you want to educate all, education for all, then we have to make it anytime, anywhere, because of integration of digital technology. Then skill-based education, integration of 21st century skills. This also has been mentioned in our NEP 2020. Hands-on learning, internship, experiments, collaborative projects. You can see in our ITEP, we talk about hands-on learning and long periods of internship, experiments, and now we talk about collaborative projects. You can see all the features of fourth education revolution is there in our NEP 2020. Therefore, I wanted to align this NEP 2020 and align this industrial revolution. Then coming to India's global competitiveness, that is the core of your seminar, Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0. Let us see what is the position of India in Industry 4.0. So it says it is ahead of many developing countries. We are developing countries, and India is ahead of many developing countries, but behind many developed countries like United States, China, Canada, Sweden, South Korea, and so on. and the rank is 36th. Our rank is 36th, where US, Sweden, UK, Singapore, Korea, Germany, China, they are the leading countries in fourth industrial revolution. Now coming to education fund 4.0, we are in a better position. Like we perform very competitively on the future workforce skill. It means that when we are our education prepares future workforce. We need now we are preparing our students who will do work in future. Then our position is 27th overall in education 4.0, but second in future of work next to United States. So United States at the top, and we are at the second position. That is our satisfaction that in future of war skill we are ahead of many developed countries, and strong policy and technology adoption. We have very strong policy like industry policy and also industrial policy and also education policy. Our policy is very strong, and also in adoption of technology in the field of education, and also but there is a digital divide in our country. That means equitable access is not happening, and teacher readiness is not there. So these are the some challenges on this. Then second aspect of transformation, I would like to say vocational education, skilling, and employability. So if you see, this vocational education is an outdated concept. Now these are called transferable skills, or they are called employability skills. So you will have certain skills, then you can transfer from one occupation to another occupation with the help of those skills, and we can also, therefore, our many skilled workers are transferring to United States, Canada, and so on, other developed countries because of this skill education. So you see, okay, previous slide, previous. You see the call of our Prime Minister. I call upon the nation to take pledge to make India the skill capital of the world. So it means that Narendra Modi ji बोल रहे थे, our Prime Minister, कि will Skill India mission, you must have heard about Digital India mission, Skill India mission. That was once upon a time, perhaps in 2020 or prior to that. So he wanted that skill development and skill India, then we can globally compete. And he also give priority over, to compete globally, priority over entrepreneurship, over skill. So entrepreneurship means you want to be the owner. You want to be owner. You can give employment instead of searching for employment. So he said entrepreneurship, and those who are not able to become entrepreneur, those who are not capable, or those who have no opportunity, they should develop their skill so that they can go to any parts of the country to own the hearts of the people. That you can see from the statement of the Prime Minister. These are the scenario of vocational education. Vocational education, we are lagging behind in many developed countries. You see, when we just made a collaboration between South Korea and education in vocational education, they are providing 4,000 hours of vocational education for school children, 4,000 hours, and our students 1,000 hours. So they wanted to make a just bargain, and we agreed to 2,000 hours, but still we could not provide 2,000 hours of vocational education to students from classes 9 to 12. And our employability skill is 37%, and the vocational skill 63%. When you say vocational skill, vocational skills means related to a particular vocation. And employability skills means that that is called soft skills. So these soft skills like communication, ICT skills, self-management skill, entrepreneurial skill, green skill. These skills are applicable or useful to any vocation. Therefore, they are called employability skills and vocational skills. But we are doing that also. And the pre-vocational education, we have started pre-vocational education. We have also developed curriculum for on pre-vocational education for classes from classes 6 to 8. And you can see, you'll be astonished that this is of course old data. This percentage might have increased. That to perhaps it is very old data. Only 5% of Indian youth have formal training at least in one vocation, and the corresponding figure for South Korea was 96%. Was 96%. When our 5% children have vocational education, then their percentage is 96%. Therefore, they are economically advanced. And you know, their GDP is 7 times higher than our GDP. So, although their population is only 5 crore population, they are present 93% of Indian workforce in an unorganized sector. Like they work in different factories, like on skilled laborers, 93%. And MSME sector, micro, small, medium enterprises contributes only 17% of our GDP, gross domestic product. Whereas it is 85% in Taiwan. Taiwan is also a very small country, very technologically advanced. 60% in China. You see, we bring everything starting from diya and crackers and toys from China. So these are created by this MSME sector. But their contribution is 60%, 50% in Singapore. If we would not develop MSME sector, then we cannot compete globally in terms of economy or industry. Then these are the ideas that have been there in NEP 2020, vocational exposure to at the very early stage from class 6. Then hard separation between art, science, and between vocational education and academic education. That means we are now, our vocational education was considered very low, but now we treat vocational education and academic stream at par. And we have made a target of at least 50% of learners should have exposure to vocational education, either through school education or higher education. Then vocational education to make inclusive, vocational education for all, irrespective of caste, creed, color, disability. And bridging the gender gap. Gender gap means now in MSME sector, women are given priority like this, and greater choice of vocational subjects. In our curriculum framework, in state curriculum framework, we have kept even so many vocational subjects. But infrastructure is important, whether the government can provide infrastructure or that. Then skill labs and will be developed in a hub and spoke model. Skill hubs for dropouts, skill hubs for preparatory level children, skill hubs for higher education. In a hub and spoke model means there will be a skill hub, and the beneficiary will be from nearby schools and higher education in institutions. Then the recognition of prior learning. We are more very interested about qualification. Even somebody has no qualification, but he or she has a skill in some unorganized sector or informal sector, that can be also accepted on the basis of some formal test. Then 10 backless stage, focus on log vidya, that the students at middle stage, they will be going to different crafts persons, artists who have skills, develop skills. Then vocational education through open and distance learning, short-term certificate courses in vocational education, use of smart manufacturing like the 3D printing and robotics. Then vocational education and training addressing demands of fourth industrial revolution or industry 4.0, entrepreneurship and startups. Now you can see many even IIT engineers, they are doing startups. Very yesterday I was traveling in just I asked in airport Agartala that what you are doing, sorry, in the hotel, because I found many young people. Then why the young people are there? Because they have all startups. They have all startups, and they are staying in 5-star hotels. So this is the scenario like this. Then a capacity building of teachers is required. We have many vocational programs in our country, although not many, but without any permanent vocational teachers. Only contractual teachers or guest teachers are doing that. So these are some of the things, and also emphasizing research like this. So now the third thing is strengthening academic research. Our investment in research in India is very poor. But if you see the current scenario, the quantity of research is more, but the quality of research is low. You can see the current scenario, rapid growth of research in publications. Many now, during our time, we are going with certificates to appear in print. But now, if you see young people, they are going with 10, 20, 30 publications for interview for the post of assistant professor. So, third largest producer in the world in publication. Qualified faculty. Many faculties were having PhD degree. But during that time, there are very few faculty with PhD degree. So nearly 60% of faculty members are having PhD degree. Then growing number of PhD students. Now everybody is interested to do PhD. But during our time, we are never thinking of doing a PhD. We did of late. And those who did, they could become professor and whatever. So increase in patents and innovation. Now we did not know what is patent. But now many universities have tripled the patent between 2022 and 2024. 3 times patents. Growing international collaboration. Now many young faculty, they are publishing with the international authors. So this is the scenario of research, but the challenges remain. Our investment is very low. That you can see from NEP 2020. That less than 1% of GDP is spent on research and development. Whereas in other countries like US, it is 2.8% of their GDP. And Israel, now they are a small country, they are fighting with Iran, and Iran is fighting with America. They are spending, see, Israel, 4.3% in their research and development. So, and South Korea also 4.2% in their investment in research. Therefore, they are developed, although they are very small countries. But our, you see, 0.69%, less than 1% of our GDP. And quality of research and publication is very low. Although the quantity of publication is more, but the quality is less. And brain drain. So many researchers, they don't like to continue in our country. They want to move to foreign countries. Insufficient mentorship. Now, mentorship means in guiding PhD scholars, that mentorship is very less. So these are some of the uh, uh, suggestions of ADP 2020 in strengthening research establishment. I am telling only few. Establishment of NRF, National Research Foundation. Now it is working to support research to academics and the universities and colleges. Establishment of MERU, multidisciplinary education and research universities. Now we are promoting multidisciplinary research. Let me give an example. One student from home science, she is also a male. She did PhD with me, but awarded PhD in education. But that was in adolescence education. But their department, that OUAT, they did not consider that you have been awarded PhD degree in education. But that is a multidisciplinary research. But now many universities, they have multidisciplinary research centers. And industry academy collaboration, making teaching evidence based. Now teaching should be connected with research. That means to make your teaching evidence based, every teacher should conduct research at the school level, action research, and at the higher education level, applied research. So this is again you see 4-year integrated 4-year undergraduate program, international research collaboration, establishment of innovation centers in universities, and many private universities started now interdisciplinary research. I know in KISS University, they have interdisciplinary research centers, and education students are doing in that. They are guided by the teachers of sociology department, and UGC also has developed guidelines to establishment of research and development cell in higher education institution in the context of implementation of NEP 2020. So these are some additional suggestions I have brought out. Advanced research infrastructure in universities. Our infrastructure is very poor, particularly in scientific research, and reduce teaching load of faculty. If faculty will teach 5 periods, 4 periods a day, then they don't find time. Scholarships, fellowships, and training for young researchers. Then coming to transforming pedagogy. Pedagogy broadly conceived can also make India globally competitive. So, cutting edge pedagogy. What is the cutting edge pedagogy? You must have seen the taught cutting edge pedagogy. That's modern, innovative, advanced with the technology and research to improve learning. When our pedagogy is based on these fulfill these characteristics, this pedagogy is called cutting edge pedagogy. You can see in I-10, the vision of I-10, they say cutting edge pedagogy in teacher education program, and making education more interactive, student centered, and skill based. So these are the characteristics of cutting edge pedagogy. Instead of only saying pedagogy, now we are using the term innovative pedagogy or cutting edge pedagogy. So these are the features like digital technology, use of digital technology, online tools, experiential learning, collaborative learning, teamwork, discussion, personalized learning, adaptive teaching, integration of 21st century skills. So do we use these characteristics? So should we use these characteristics? Do we use these characteristics in our pedagogy? Pedagogy many narrowly conceived like method of teaching. Pedagogy only happens in the classroom, but pedagogy is a very broad concept. It also includes evidence-based teaching, use of technology, and so many things. So we are, NEP 2020 has brought out a guideline on innovative pedagogical approaches and evaluation reforms. So these are the features of innovative or cutting-edge pedagogy. Dynamic in nature. Many may vary from teacher to teacher classroom to classroom, institution to institution. Cutting edge pedagogy is not the follow very rigid steps, compartmental steps like 5E approach that we follow. So it can vary from teacher to teacher, classroom classroom, and from institution to institution. But idea is active involvement of the learner, and children must be respected, valued, and children should learn in a variety of ways, like questioning, discussion, doing projects, and so on, and linking classroom with the life of the students. These are some of the common things. But when we are talking about cutting edge pedagogy, we have to go beyond what we are doing today. Then some of the cutting edge pedagogy are experiential learning. They are called cross-curricular pedagogical approaches like art integrated learning, sports integrated learning, storytelling based learning, ICT integrated learning. These are called experiential learning and an umbrella term. Then flipped classroom, technology based flipped classroom, blended learning. That what happens in IGNO, as you know. So, Panchpati, of course, that I do not want to discuss about it. Then, fifth one is making higher education more humane. So, because we are now many criticism is coming regarding NEP 2020. Many states, particularly in southern states, they say that so much of use of technology will lose the lessen the importance of teacher. But here our suggestion is making higher education more humane. Humane, that is respecting or promoting human values in our curriculum. You might have had the title of the NCFT towards preparing professional and humane teachers. So teachers should not be professional, only having pedagogic skills and content knowledge or technological knowledge. He must be also humane. There are human aspects like empathy, integrity, respect, compassion. And integrate ethics in technology, ethical use of technology. We use artificial intelligence, we use smart technology, but we should not forget the ethical component and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, social intelligence, these are lacking in our massive use of technology. But we have to maintain a balance between taking hi-fi or high-level technology and also following the guided by human values. Encourage critical thinking, creativity, and innovation to solve global challenges. Promote intercultural understanding. What is intercultural understanding? So I was telling about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. If you want to make a globally competitive, we cannot be confined to our nation. We have to have intercultural understanding and global perspective to prepare students for international collaboration. We have to go beyond. So these are some of the suggestions for making higher education more humane. Although we talk about this compassion, values, and so on, but still, with the massive use of technology, digital technology, information technology, we have to become still more humane. And social responsibility and community engagement that makes human. You have in for your integrated program item community engagement for 15 days, I think that is there. Then ensure inclusive and equitable education. Equitable education, according to the need of the students. Then interdisciplinary learning. Interdisciplinary learning also makes us humane. Like science students learn also history and vice versa. Then strengthen communication and the collaboration skills to which are essential for global workplace. So these are the things that we need to do to make our education more human. So I think Professor Pradhan, we should not go for this multidisciplinary and other things. We should not go because of time, because very eminent speakers are there detailing. But first I gave priority to these 5 aspects, 1 to 5, that I discussed with you to make our education system globally competitive, aligning with both vision of NEP 2020 and Viksit Bharat at 2047. With this, I thank all of you for your patient hearing, and also the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
करण प्रक्रिया रे निजको शामिल करबा पई नूतन पीढ़ी को जो आशीर्वाद प्रदान कले, जो अभिलाषित लक्ष्यटी आपण एठारे उपस्थापित कले, ताहा निश्चित भावे हमरे नुवा पीढ़ी को नूतन मार्ग संदर्शन करिवो, एथिरे संदेह नाही। आउ थरे पुणी आपण को अंतरर आंतरिक कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करू। एबे मो मंच को स्वागत करिवि आउ जणे अतिथि डॉक्टर वृंदावन चंद्र मिश्र महोदय को। से अनुरोध करी से तांकर अभिभाषण एठारे उपस्थापन करी।
Esteemed principal, my student, Professor Pradhan, Manoj Kumar Pradhan, and chairman of the session, my friend, on many occasions we have talked about education, Professor Rushikesh Senapati, former director of NCERT New Delhi, my younger brother like Professor Pradhan, Nityanand Pradhan, former principal of RI Bhopal, and now he is the chairman of State School Curriculum Framework, Odisha. Many times, on many occasions, we are talking when we were in Koraput. I have been invited by his wife for the dinner, and we discussed many things on education, and that had inspired me to become a man of discussion in the field of education. Thank you, Professor Pradhan, for making me to stand and talk before the people, audience. And another one, my scholar, Professor G.D. Varik, now who is the head of the institute like Dr. PMIASE, Sambalpur. My younger brother like Dr. Devendra Kumar Sethi, professor of this institute. In absentia, my another younger brother, Professor Sanjay Kumar De, former principal, now he retired, former principal of 2 colleges, Utkalamani College of Teacher Education and College of Teacher Education, Baleshwar. Of the days, many scholars are there. I am afraid whether I will forget their names, so I will not name them. My scholars, Sarvanam, my scholars, my students also, faculties of this institute, employees of this institute, my loving trainees of this institute or elsewhere. Also, some of my students are there working in different colleges, government colleges or aided colleges. What has been talked about by my the keynote speaker, Professor Pradhan. Also, I will talk about in another way, how can we transform higher education in India, keeping in mind the concept of issues of NEP 20, and that is my vision. The vision is in terms of 6 Sigma. So how can we make use of 6 Sigma, or what is the contextuality of 6 Sigma when you talk, when you think about, when you have a vision of transforming Indian higher education system. Is it okay? So before talking about the transformation of Indian education system, let us see what our NEP 20 says about higher education. What is the vision? Higher education plays an extremely important role in promoting human and societal well-being. Professor Pradhan has already talked about humanity value-based that will lead to the enhancement of life where we are living in society. Second vision is the policy envisions a complete overall and re-energizing of the 20. The ultimate goal is overcome various challenges to deliver high quality higher education across India. We have many challenges. For example, maybe in terms of, you can think of in terms of infrastructure, manpower, and so digital system. Besides that, in spite of all this, we have to overcome all this and we can think of high quality higher education. Now, NEP 20, the vision is new quality initiations in multidisciplinary and autonomous. Yesterday, I was talking to Sai when Sai was present, Sai Panda. So we have three kinds, it is suggested, we have three categories of higher education institution: research intensive, teaching intensive, and autonomous colleges. So this is how, if it is a multidisciplinary system, what can we do in that context? How Six Sigma can play a gigantic role, that we will see, so that we can improve the performance. We must elevate the performance of various education departments from the ground up. We have different departments. I am not talking about physics, economics, history. I am talking about industry as a department, or banking as a department, or commerce, business department. How can we make them integrate so that we can improve upon? The fundamental perspective in this context, we can think of the Six Sigma. The fundamental perspective. What is the fundamental perspective? What is the contextuality? Six Sigma is the operational catalyst required for transforming the Indian higher education system. Against this background, against this backdrop, we can think of Six Sigma. Now let us understand what does Six Sigma mean. This is a Greek word. The Greek word sigma denotes the standard deviation. Sigma is the population parameter. Standard deviation is the sample characteristics. So sigma denotes, or standard deviation denotes, how far data points shift from the mean. This is your mean. How far the standard deviation is away from that mean. The more the away from the mean, more than the defect in our education system, in any system, and maybe industry, maybe education system. The less the deviation, more performance, like that. So therefore, these are the two limits. It is not there. Upper specific limit, lower specific limit. So therefore, when we are talking about the high quality higher education, that can be seen in terms of performance level. So therefore, the performance level should not be more than 3.4. That is, if the opportunities are given million, then it's not more than 3.4. We'll discuss. So therefore, the standard is long-term defect levels are kept below 3.4 DPMO, defect per million opportunities. So the defect should not be more than 3.4 out of million opportunities. So therefore, what is the philosophy of Six Sigma? A fact-based, that means when you are thinking, Professor Pradhan was telling, whenever you are going to make some kind of transformation, it is not all of a sudden. So therefore, you have to take the stock of the situation. Therefore, it is a question of statistical analysis, statistics. What does the statistical figure say? So a fact-based, data-driven approach that values error prevention. We have to prevent what are the errors. Yesterday I was telling you that 80-20. 80-20, that means 20% of the defects make 80% of the problems in industry or in any education system. Therefore, this is the message that if the small number of problems are attended on the basis of the priority. So you have to prioritize on the basis of priority. Then, which is the amount to the more number of consequences that can be eliminated. So therefore, a fact-based, data-driven approach that values error prevention, not error detection. Sometimes we make a remark in the students' lesson plan. The question is defective, the question is not appropriate. Then you tell what is the defect. Not only detection, also prevention. The student may ask you, sir or madam, what type of question I should ask? You can say higher order, middle order, lower order. You are teaching at the elementary level, so lower order. You are teaching at the 10th, higher secondary, so higher order, like that. So you have to give. Therefore, detection by minimizing variation in processes. You are a teacher, I am a teacher, Professor Sanapati is a teacher. The same topic is given, but the understanding level of the students is not same. It is because of the type of teacher. Content is same. The presentation style of the teacher makes a something difference. So therefore, the personal structure of the teacher is more important. Next. So now, again, this background of 6 sigma, these are principles. 7 lead principles. Lead means one by one. Lead principles to eliminate waste. It means when you are eliminating waste, the performance level of the system, work processes will be more. When the performance level of the work processes in the system is more, then there is the question of improvement. And that is what we want. So therefore, these are the 7 principles. First principle is maximizing customer value by eliminating waste. This is our first target. Any industry, any system that wants, let me give the best kind of satisfaction to my customers. So therefore, if that is the motto, then we have to minimize the defects will be there. 100% correction is not possible, but that rate will be 90%. For example, in statistics, we are considering 0.05 level or 0.01 level, 99% or 95%. Then we can say it is as good as 100, something like that. Then second is building in quality. For the quality enhancement, Professor Pradhan has talked about what, and basically we have to make use of digital system, creating knowledge. In my time, we are talking about population explosion. Now it is your time, knowledge explosion. Every second, every twinkle of eyes, what was there, now it is no more there. In my time, forgotten steps of teaching, lesson planning. Now, say 5E model, 7E model, 9E model, as many as model, icon model. New things are coming up. So we must keep abreast of the latest arrival in the field of education so that you can deliver the goods to the students. Deferring commitment. Don't act like a politician. Yes, I can do. When the people around you, they can say, sir, you should establish a school or bank, something like in our village. The politician say, yes, it will be done. But they will not do, but they say yes. But as an educationist, as a teacher, we should not say yes. So therefore means make delay. Okay, let us see what can be done best. Delivering fast. So that is more important. If you do not go with the changes are going on. For example, if I were wrong, Professor Senapati will rectify me. Constructivism or 5E model came to India last part of early 2000. What in America, in foreign countries, it was early 80s. You just see how late it come to our system in India. So therefore, whatever you want to deliver, means goods and services, if you want to deliver, it should be fast. Nowadays, say Amazon, something like that, you are online, you are doing within within 5 minutes, you are getting your breakfast. So it is fast delivery. Therefore, it stands for quality. Empowering team for doing all this. The team members, as you are organizing all the team members, you are very active. Therefore, we must make them powerful. We must them energize. We must make them competent. So therefore, skills are required for our environment. Optimizing the whole system. You are working a system. If the system is not optimized, for example, your principal is there. there are different rooms. There are two period classes, section A, section B, for example, for the time being. There is no ITP. First year, second year. Some pedagogical classes, ML classes, there is no MPhil. Well, there are some rooms not used. Is it not the duty of the principal to see how best can we make use of the rooms which are not used for the classroom purposes? That is also. I still remember sometimes my friend Professor Pradhan said, you are acting like a teacher, but you should feel like you are principal. What did I do? When the college is closed, I see whether the doors are shuttered or not, whether the fans are off or not, light is off or not. This is not it is not written in the manual, but it is my moral conscience. Yes, why should, if the light is off, students are not there, it is a wastage. So that can work properly, work processes will work properly, and the quality will be achievable or will be achieved. So then what is sought? Remove unnecessary items from the workplace, keep only essential needs. So therefore only essential things are to be kept. And second is set in order, orderliness. For example, you have a library. If the books are not orderly placed, psychology section, philosophy section, say statistics section, research section, so that when the students go, the teacher, faculty go, they can find out easily. You can identify, you can locate. So therefore, arrange these necessary items so that they can be easily found or used and returned. The next is standardize. So clean the workspace daily to maintain standards and identify potential issues. So clean, because you are working a particular institution, maybe in the industry system or in the banking system or in the education system, doesn't matter. For example, now you are organizing, your institution is organizing a seminar, national seminar. People outside the state, they may be invited. When they look at the different corners, they find, yes, it is beautiful, it looks nice. It is organized properly. So therefore, it should be clean. Next is standardize. Now these three S, say sort, set in order, and cite, they must be documented. How to do, who will do, when to do, what is the reason for doing. So therefore, standard means create consistent, documented operating procedures for the first 3 S. We must document. For example, my scholar is introducing me. I am not in favor of that. Somebody else, because you know me. For example, somebody else could have been introduced. So that will be better. Anyhow. So therefore, then next is sustain. We have to revive. Embedded, this is wrongly written, double B. Embedded the culture through training. If this culture will be maintained, training is essential. We have to make people empowered. So training is essential. Training also how the funds are used. It is essential. And self-discipline. That is the most important thing. Self-discipline to ensure long-term adherence. Next. Now, there are two approaches. Six Sigma can be used by following two methods. One is a DMIC, another is DMDV. Define, for example, what is this DMI? Next page. Define, next. Define, measure, define, second measure, A, analyze, I, improve, and C, control. So what is to be defined? When you are following Six Sigma, you have to define the problem, project goal, and process of improvement. What is your target? And that target should not be beyond your capacity. This seminar could have been much better if 1 crore rupees has been spent. Hello, Sanjay, apna mohta apun aprakit. So therefore, your cost decisive. So therefore, so we should be very ambitious. Second element is measure. In the process of DMAIC, measure means key aspects of the current process and collect relevant data. What is the process going on? For example, in our educational institution, how many students, for example, there is a debate competition in English. How many students have participated in the English debate competition? Is it remarkably good one or not? If not, why not? there are 20 students in English method, in pedagogy. Why only 3 or 4? So that data will provide us how to do the situation better, how the student can perform better. Then analyze the data to verify the main flaws in the process. Already I have told you, 80-20. 20 are defects, small number. But that small number of defects caused are responsible for the 80% of problems of the industry or the institution. So therefore, we must analyze what are the major causes for which such kind of problems are grooming. Then when you know the causes, then you can optimize the process based directly on the basis of data analysis. Then control. Now you are trying to improve. You are telling, I still remember in GM college, one of the honor students, Saroj Mishra, he was chain smoker. Not in the class, outside the class. So by that time I was unmarried, bachelor. So in the evening time I was making here and there by the railway station, GM college railway station. I could find that boy is smoking, chain smoker. Then next day, hello, I asked, how many cigarettes? You are a very good smoker. You are not a good smoker like me. Of course, I am not smoker. You know to discover the inherent facts. No, sir, I am not smoking. I am not. No. You are a good smoker. That is the spirit like a young man. You tell me how many cigarettes you take every day. That's 7 to 8. When I am taking 20 every day, you are less than me. So you take 20. No, sir, it will be injurious for health. Then I said, I come to the point. If you know that the cigarette smoking is injurious for health, why are you taking? What is your father about? No, my father is a teacher. Your father is a teacher and what you are doing like this? No, it should not be. It is not good. Then sir said, it is my habit. Habit formation is easy, but habit deformation is very difficult. Then I followed what Satya Sai Baba said, gradual process. Then I said, how many you tell me frankly, how many cigarettes you are taking daily? I said 7. At what time? Attending lecture. Something like that during my study. Then I said, do you respect me as a teacher? No, yes, sir. Then if I say something, can you agree? No, yes, sir. If you are managing 7, can you not manage with 6 cigarettes? No, yes, sir. 6 from 7, now 6. Then after some 2 months, then 5. Then after 2 months, 4. Gradually now he becomes a non-smoker. From smoking to non-smoker. It is, Rome was not built in there. So it will take time. So therefore, if you are seriously trying to make control over the behavior of student positively, then you have to do like that. Next. Then another was here, DX. The purpose, measure, analyze. This is your design. The selected best alternatives and tests should be prepared. For example, you are teaching, I am teaching, he is teaching, she is teaching. Now, when you look up, now that this culture is not there, but in my time, I say, Professor Patani, you come and visit my class. I go to his class. Then we are discussing what best can be done, which has not been done. That is how we are not criticizing each other. We are trying to improve upon, so that my students will say, yes, he is a good teacher. Like that. So if it comes from the inner heart of yourself, then it can become. So alternatives are there, options are there. It is up to you whether you have to accept or not. Then verify the effectiveness of the design through simulation, artificial creation of situations. You can verify. So these are the 2 approaches. Next. Now, how can I am talking about this 6 Sigma in general way? We have not come to education system. I am giving the background. So this is how the leaders are there, people are there, who can be taken, whose services can be taken. At the top is executive leader, like a CEO. CEO, he has to manage all the system. Then champion, to integrate the different parts for the implementation. Then MBB, master black belts. So 100% he will dedicate for as a in-house coach, and to see that the different statistical position, the data, what does it say, how it can be done, so that we can have more improvement. Then next is your black belts. So what is the task of black belt? 100% dedication to applying the methodology to specific project execution. Because you have accepted project, you want to improve upon for your institution, you have the vision, you have the mission. So for that, you have to dedicate yourself. But actually this green belt, he is the main head for implementation. So therefore, employees taking on implementation alongside their regular job responsibility. You are working as teacher. Now, let us come to our education system. Basically, this Six Sigma is a kind of methodology which was originally used in the field of industry. And the father was Smith, Bill Smith. Now, when we are talking about higher education, in higher education, Six Sigma is not about manufacturing output. It pertains to improving. Professor Pradhan was telling. What is the improvement? Your value systems, your way of talking, your way of behaving. Some after your M.Ed or B.Ed, when you go to the society, and people will say, what kind of beard he or she has done? He or she is not able to manage the class. Something like that in the class. So therefore, acharana and ucharana, your behavior. Therefore, it was perhaps, if my memory stands correct, Ruskin, when Ruskin was asked, what is your understanding of education? He said, education is not to know what you know not, but to behave as you do not behave. So behavior is more important. Then another is therefore output is not more important. The improvement, the behavioral pattern, like that. So therefore, the quality of matter taught. If we want to improve the students, then we have to see what kind of things to be taught. What is the quality? How much I must devote so that my students can understand me, must accept me as a teacher. The second is the character generated in the pupils. And Vivekananda talked about education is character building, not the system fit and wise, not the faith in with rigid eyes, not the potent man but wanted man. He was wanting what kind of man? A man of character. That is the contextual of education. It is equally important for higher education. Third is quality of study and school life. For quality and quantity. Not that the school opens from 10 to 4, 5 or 6 hours, but maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, doesn't matter. But how you are engaging the students for a better world, today or tomorrow, because this certificate will not help you. You may get a job, doesn't matter. You will work as a wife, I will work as a father, I will work as a member of the society. If you are unable to manage your role assigned by the society, because society has expectation. If your education does not align the expectation of the society, education is meaningless. Therefore, the quality of study, the quality of school life is more important. So, higher education should, your Six Sigma, higher education should infuse a spike of excellence, emotional development, humanness, already my friend Professor Pradhan said, and self-discipline across the campus. Next. Now, for doing all this, we require leaders. In the higher education system, assistant professor, then associate professor, then professor. When you are thinking about the quality of higher education, who will do? Not the cats and dogs. We the people, the human being. Now we have the rank, assistant professor, like that. Now, what should the assistant professor do? Assistant professor will act as a green belt. Implement. Actually, what is happening? For example, your Madhusar is very intelligent, any principal. He does not do. He made you to dance. It is the function of any principal. But he guides. So, assistant professor as the green belt implement the methods given by the BB black belts from the best academic plans and schedules, define processes, and find causes of variation for plan failure. So you must have been told, I do not know. Your principal might have told you in the meeting, if the success goes, the success is for the institution. If it is not successful, you are responsible. So it is your responsibility. It is in your shoulder. Then next is in your hierarchy, associate professor as black belt. Search for effective pedagogy, impute institutional principles in the student's mind, plan for effective results, and control activities within the time. But in any way you cannot use. So there are different headings. And against that heading you can and manage teams. Team management is important. I could find that Manoj Pradhan is a very good team leader. So he is doing all this. Next. Now there are 4 levels. Now we are talking about transforming higher education via or through our 6 sigma. Now these are the 4 levels along which we can make use of 6 sigma. So first level is university level. And what should the university do? University will define. We have 5 stages. First is define. So in the define stage, what should the university do? University, that means Vice Chancellor, state and national funds availability. Yesterday Gita Madam was telling, Vice Chancellor was telling, we have many self-finance courses because we want to raise the funds. There are many activities to be undertaken. Russia is giving or some other sources are there like that. Then another is infrastructure availability. For example, they were starting, Berhampur University is going to start commerce, arts, science, ITP program. So now the rooms may not be available. So therefore, they will think of infrastructure, manpower, something like that. Then benchmarking with top institute. If we have to start the ITP program, now, what are other IT programs in which conducted by which university? What is their performance level? What is their strength? What are their limitations? SWOT analysis. Now, we can do better than that is the benchmark. If their result is 90%, our result is 95%. If their faculties are like this, our faculty will be more than like that. That is the thing. So this is the level 1 university. Then level 2 college. What should the college will do? Measure and analyze. That is the responsible role. Then strong placement cells and alumni contact. Professor Pradhan was telling vocational or skill based like that. So therefore, how can you make your students to be placed in different jobs? How can you contact your alumni, old students like that? Financial resources, faculty publication, new recruitment as now the system of faculty publication, the college principal will see how many faculties are engaged in publications, in which, what is the standard, in which magazine, something like that. Next, this is college level. Then level 3 is department level. Now, when we have IT program, curriculum department, like NCERT, curriculum, teacher education, pre-education, like that, it is there. So department level. What should the department do? Funding, major research projects, new courses to be started, student feedback. For example, you have started new program. First batch has gone. Now you can take the stock of their view. What is the opinion about the program? What could be done so that we can improve? Similarly, in IGNOU, when on the valedictorian day, we take the stock of the situation. Mind the participants, you tell in the next time, in the next course, what could be done, which has not been done, so that the program will be effective. Feedback. Then faculty achievement and emerging technologies. In some high schools, I have been invited as a guest. I could find they have practiced a very good program. That means any faculty who has not availed any share will be given 5,000 annually. 5,000 in the annual the function. Out of 15 CL, if proportional. Out of 15 CL, if you have taken 5, not 10, then 4,000. So this is a kind of incentive, so that the people will work better, in a better way. Then student faculty, this is more important, student faculty 130, something like that at the elementary level. And now in the college, but when the faculty are more, like that. But we must have very congenial atmosphere. We must understand. For example, I find this faculty is better than me, so I will sit. Why should I hesitate to sit with him? I can talk. Tell me how best I can sit. What strategy is to be adopted? So that kind of reciprocity will make you great. So don't hesitate to interact. The last level 4 is administration level. All the things are depending on the administration. Then cost control, waste reduction, staff and planning, scheduling. So, staffs are sufficient, no problem. For example, DPIASE, staffs are sufficient. But what planning you are doing? What is your schedule? How many of you are doing something more than teaching? That we must think of. Then office automation, sophisticated now, digital system is there. Office, you need not go to the office. It will be done automatically. So it is time-bound program. Next. Then in this context, I feel Kaizen framework, yesterday I was telling, Kaizen framework embeds continuous, what is Kaizen? It is Japanese philosophy. It is believes in change. Change for what? Change for betterment. So therefore, continuous improvement. We want to transfer for what for? For betterment, for better improvement. So a philosophy of continuous improvement, that is Kaizen. A philosophy of continuous improvement is essential for sustainable transformation. Transformation is not a question of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Long term, life together. Now, that culture involves encouraging all employees to actively look for improvement. If you are thinking of the improvement, if the employees are not interested, improvement cannot take place in a vacuum. So, we will do. Then, providing clear mechanism for employees to suggest and implement improvement. Once in Koraput, students complain. Sir, books are not given in time, this is not done. Then I say, no, it is not complaint box, suggestion box. You give write something, put it in. After 4, I will take it and I will read, don't give your name. Then what best can I do? I will do. So like that. Providing clear mechanism, recognizing and rewarding improvement efforts. For example, in some colleges, a student who has 100% attendance, given some prize. A student who has secured more mark is given some kind of reward, either financially or in terms of certificates. Then making continuous improvement a part of everyday work. Improvement is not like a whitewashing. You are washing your house once in a year. Improvement does not happen once in a day. It is everyday. In your work processes every day, you can think of, for example, how shoes can be kept. Small thing, but counts a lot. When the prayer is going on, how many students are opening the eyes? How many students are discussing among themselves? Self-disciplining we are talking about, it can also. Therefore, next. Now, transfer, we want to transfer. 5 minutes. Transfer universities align directly with the societal expectation. Our improvement is for the society, for the betterment of society. You all the students, after you are pass out, you will go to where? To the society. What can you do? Once Six Sigma is successfully deployed across all campus work process, you have your campus. Operations must integrate with quality assurance. Success relies entirely on unified commitment. By utilizing these methodology, Indian higher education institution will ensure that their outcomes perfectly align with the justifiable needs and expectation of the society. If all these are there, then society will find that yes, the outputs are better and they can be used, they can be employed for the welfare of the society, and the society will make. Okay, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to stand before you and share my ideas. I must thank the principal, also the team members and the faculty of this institute for giving me the opportunity and to make me stand to share my idea. Thank you very much. Also, this treat has been given by Professor Sanjay.
धन्यवाद देवाई भाषा एवं भावर अभाव महोदय। उच्च शिक्षा नूतन संस्कार, परिवर्तित शिक्षा पद्धति तार प्रयोग एवं नूतन शिक्षा नीति तार सफलता विषय आपणकर प्रांजल अभिभाषण श्रेणीगृह शिक्षा परि आपण जेभଳି भाबरे एठारे उपस्थापित कले ताहा निश्चित भाबरे आम छात्र छात्री मानकु मार्गदर्शन करिवो। एबे मो निमंत्रण करी मंच को आज अन्यतम अतिथि
Respected Rishikesh sir, the chief guest of the day, and Dr. Pradhan, keynote speaker, dear principal, my colleague, then DC Mishra sir, जहाँ को मैं बहुत आगे जानी चाहिए सी हमारा पथ प्रदर्शक मुझे जत्ते बड़े PhD करली सत्ते बड़े भी तांकर आपके गाइडेंस नहीं थी then Gurra sir, my colleague, my fellow friends, then Dr. Devendra sir, जे की convener अछंती एवं seminar secretary Mr. Deepak, and of the days Professor Behera, then Dr. Sethi, and other faculty members, and my dear students, friends. Sir माने कहला परे मो बेसी किछि कहया पई चाहू नाही because it is a vast subject. जते बेले हमें कहवा NEP 2020, it is not limited to 2 days seminar. Rather जते बेले हमें topic दिया जाइछि restructuring and education for global competitiveness with respect to NEP 2020, I am trying to focus on 1 to 2 points. One of the most important point is that it is given emphasis on holistic development and multidisciplinary in nature of higher education. Then we all know that what is holistic development? That means the development of whole personality. What is means of holistic development? That means if a question is arising that before NEP 2020, we are developing, whether we are developing partly, whether holistic development was not there. If we read the past culture, past education, that Indian tradition, Indian history, then we must be sure that it was holistic in nature. जदि नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय कथा कहिबा तक्षशिला कथा कहिबा तने एनी काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज सेटा मध्य होलिस्टिक इन नेचर थिला जत्ते बेले कि गुरुकुल आश्रम रे भी बापा माने पिला माने को छाडुथिले तने फुल इंडिविजुअल तार जते परफेक्शन हबो से जत्ते बेले गुटे इंडिविजुअल रूपे प्रतिष्ठित हबो सेटा को ताके टीचर सर्टिफाई करूथिले. So that kind of knowledge, that kind of learning, that kind of training must be completed in the Guru's house so that he can come to the society to lead a life, individual life. That means an individual, first he is an individual and he should concentrate on self-development. But self-development is not all, rather the societal development is important. So individual development of societal aspect, that means an individual is to lead a life that he should be perfect, he should be satisfied with his own self, That means he should put a question whether I am developed fully. So that is not a very easy question which is to be answered very straightforward. Rather, I have to put my question, I have to put many questions that whether I am fully developed, whether I am wholly developed, whether every kind of personality which is desired by the society, which the country needs, whether it is fulfilled, whether I am satisfied. If I am satisfied, whether society is deriving pleasure from my pursuit, my activities, my knowledge, my training, whether society is benefiting from the individual itself. So individual development, it is not all, if it is not translated into service component to the society. Holistic development is then possible if I am developed fully and it is translated into my actions and which will be utilized for the development of myself, development of my family, development of my village, development of my country, and at large, development of society, maybe nationally or internationally or over the globes. If a question is asked whether there is, in the news you can see the fights among different countries, there is a big question whether we are developed, whether we are developed fully, whether any important politicians, important kings of different states, they do not develop fully so that there is a devastating situations throughout the world. So what kind of knowledge is required so that the world peace can be restored? Our Prime Minister, he gave a message to the world that world peace is required in the present time. World peace is required and no life lost. It is not to be dreamt even, but thousands of people there is a devastating nature of the world. आपण जदि देखिबे टीवी खोलिबे ताले हेत आपण मैनेज करि परिबे नाही आमे जदि गोटे कहा सहित मार्केट हला कि जदि क्षत हला ताले आमे सेते बेले जति कि दुख पाउचे एबे चिंता कर जाई पारु नाही इवन बुढ़ा छुआ छोट पिला सैनिक जे कोनसी लेवल लोक थिले भी वर्तमान जो वर्ल्ड कंडीशंस रे अछि तने सेते बेले आमे कहि परिबा कि जे whether the higher education or any education in the world, it is working? Perhaps not. So what is the needed in the present context so that world peace can be restored? Individual peace can be restored. A national peace can be sustained. And we can live in a sustainable, developed society so that we should not feel sorry that our child will not see this kind of opportunity available for me. मोर बापा मोर ठाक बापा मोर जेजेमा जहा जहा देखि थिले गुड पॉइंट्स सेटा मु सब देखि परिबि त एवं मो पिल्ला से देखि परिबो त सेही भली सकाळर सूर्य देखि परिबो त तले एही पई निश्चित भाबरे गोटे एजुकेशनल स्ट्रक्चर निश्चित भाबरे चेंज होवा दरकार जेउटा कि एनविजन्ड इन द पॉलिसी ऑफ नेशनल पॉलिसी ऑफ एजुकेशन एवं सेहिथिरे जतरा होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट कथा कहा जाईची सेतेबेले कहा जाईची इट इज नॉट ऑफ द इंटेलेक्चुअल डेवलपमेंट it is personal development, it is social development, it is environmental development, it is development of all qualities in all dimensions of the personality. What you think, what you behave, what you work, it must have a correlationship. So only thinking cannot generate knowledge, but there should be a deliberation, there should be a discussion, there should be a debate, there should be an intellectual storm inside the campus, inside the hall, so that a good thing comes. Only giving a theory, only giving a message, it will not act. If we look deep into ourselves, if we look deep into individuals, oneself, then only he can realize what is lacuna he has, what can be possible, and for that what kinds of efforts can be given either by the family, by the parents, by the institution, by the state, or by the nation. And for that an important dimension is given that an individual has to have knowledge in multidimensional respects. That means some years back we have disciplines, arts as a discipline, science as a discipline, commerce as a discipline, medicine, engineering, then any agriculture. But can you think ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ପୂର୍ବ କାଳକୁ ଯିବା there were named as 64 କଳା. What is that? 64 କଳାs. College is nothing but arts, but it is liberal arts. That means science is included in that, mathematics is included in that, philosophy, anthropology, sociology, engineering, vocational education, anything, all branches of knowledge are included in those college. That means arts. Art means not political science, history, geography. It includes also science and technology. It includes engineering. It includes mathematics. That means all kinds of knowledge one should have. Maybe in some major subjects he should have expertise, and in some minor subjects he should have knowledge, so that there is a possibility of holistic development. Roughly, I mean, what is holistic development? That means as an individual, I may have interest in physics, I may have interest in chemistry, but I should have certain favoritism, my likingness, maybe in drawing, maybe in sports, maybe in singing, maybe in dancing. Suppose IT students, they are the brighter students. If we look to the present IITians, the students doing MBA in IIMs, so they are the best students. So for them, they are not only the genius, but they are not wholly developed, because they are the engineers, they are the technocrats, but they fall short of emotions. They fall short. They may fall short of artistic knowledge, knowledge in arts, knowledge in homemaking, knowledge in literature, knowledge in singing. They only think about how much money they will earn if they are employed in USA or in reputed organizations. For that, this is a time when we need such personality who have every kind of development, and the development should be many more dimensional. That means IITians, engineers, technocrats, they should have psychology, they should have proper emotion, they should have history, they should have rich culture of India, they should have emotions, they should have emotional feeling towards their family members. It is seen, some of the students, some of the scholars, they are good students, but they are not good husbands, they are not good sons. So it is not because all-round development is not there. All-round development is then possible if I am a son, if I am a father, if I am a teacher, if I am a brother. So I am to nurture, I am to behave equally when needed. Maybe in the family, maybe in the classroom, maybe in the principal's chair, maybe in the outsides, maybe amidst my friends. So if I behave according to my position, and if that kind of personality, that kind of attitude, that kind of feeling I have, then perhaps I am wholly developed. And it is not an easy task. I am to experience in manifold respects. I am to experience. So at that time, learning should be experiential. So if I value to the experiential learning throughout my career, as much environment as I have gone through, and that is the sum and substance of my development, of my imagination, of my production, of my development. ସେଇଟାକୁ ଯଦି ଚିନ୍ତା କରାଯିବା ଦରକାର ଏବଂ ଆଜିର ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ସ ରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ହୋଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ କଥା କହୁଛୁ ପିଲାମାନେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବରେ ଷ୍ଟିକ୍ ରହନ୍ତୁ ନାହିଁ ସେଇ ଗୋଟିଏ ଗୋଟିଏ ସ୍ପେଶାଲାଇଜ ସବଜେକ୍ଟସ୍ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ NEP 2020 ରେ ହେଜ୍ ଫୋକସ୍ଡ ଅନ୍ holistic development, ଯେଉଁଥିରେ କି holistic development ମାନେ there is no rigidity in the discipline, rather there is no discipline, the flexibility in discipline. For that reason, because the focus is, the aim is, the goal is setting the holistic development of all the individuals. For that, multidisciplinary approach is necessary, because we have to be human in all respects, maybe science, maybe arts, maybe commerce, maybe philosophy, anthropology, sociology, etc., etc. For that reason, multidisciplinary approach should be accepted by all. And your training colleges, maybe teacher education or higher education, it will not last if it is not multidisciplinary institutions. No single institutions, maybe arts, maybe commerce, will exist after 2030. Rather, multiplicity nature, if we give recognition, then perhaps there is a dream which is holistic development may be successful. Thank you all. With this, I remain. I am very glad to thank Dr. Pradhan that I am given the opportunity to address.
समानता व्यक्तिगत उन्नति सह सामग्रिक विकास लगी जो समीक्षा और समीकरण करी आमको शिक्षा पद्धति सह जोड़िबा को चेष्टा करी नूतन ज्ञानर सूर्योदय पई प्रयास कराई छथि सेति पई आपण निश्चित भाबे हम समस्तंकर प्रेरणार उत्स तबे मो एबे मंच को स्वागत करिवि आ जणे अतिथि प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर गरुड़ध्वज बारिक महोदय को से तांकर अभिव्यक्ति प्रदान करिवि।
Esteemed dignitaries in the dais, principal and patron of this seminar, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar, esteemed chief guest, Professor Hrusikesh Senapati, former director NCERT New Delhi, in absentia, chief speaker Professor Nityanand Pradhan, former principal RA Bhopal, my revered guide, Professor Dr. Bundavan Chandra Mishra, invited speaker, my fellow friend, Dr. Sanjay Kumar De, former principal, CT Balishwar, coordinator of the seminar, my friend, Professor Dr. Devendra Kumar Sethi, secretary of the seminar, invited delegates, esteemed faculties of this institution, all the student teachers, BA element of this institution. This is a pride privilege on my part to become here because after 19 years I am here to speak few words on this occasion of Student National Seminar, Restructuring Higher Education for Global Competitiveness in the Light of NEP 2020. Hence, I will take very few times, not very long times. And the topic for discussion is teacher education in the age of artificial intelligence and changing policy environment, opportunity and challenges. Because since I am working in the field of teacher education for last 26 years, so definitely I took take this opportunity to talk on teacher education because in the age of artificial intelligence and changing policy paradigm, what is the present status of teacher education? First, particularly artificial intelligence in our national education policies, very important words included and many times used integration of Indian knowledge system. Actually, simultaneously we are also talking about integration of artificial intelligence, particularly entire curriculum starting from primary to college, university and technical education. Because we are living in the age of artificial intelligence, whether we like it, not like it, that doesn't matter, but it plays a very important role, vital roles in each and every aspect of our life, including our education spectrums. So that is why we are influenced by this artificial intelligence, and particularly in the field of education, it plays a very important roles. That is why we are talking about artificial intelligence. Particularly when we are talking about the present status, second slide, present scenario about school education. Our achievement, when we are talking about very significant achievement, 97 gross enrollment ratio at elementary level, more than 80% at secondary level, near about 30% in our higher education level. Simultaneously, some important drawbacks like your poor learning outcomes. National Achievement Survey, Pratham, the NGO, which also conducting and giving us different data which indicates us, which inform us about the poor learning outcomes. Like your rural areas, performing very poorly as compared to urban areas. Marginalized group, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, backward community students performing poorly as compared to their other counterparts. Girls perform well as compared to boys. So for gender-wise concern, girl students, they are doing well as compared to boy students. Policy, National Education Policy 2020, the important recommendation, I am not going to discuss details, rather your new structure of school education 5+3+3+4, holistic and integrated education, foundational literacy and numeracy by 2027, we are going to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy. Then your flexibility in curriculum, flexible curriculum, multilingual education, promoting students to learn more than one language, creating digital infrastructure and access to even the school education. We are not talking about higher education, starting from elementary, pre-primary education, providing digital infrastructure and access to students. Vocational education, introducing vocational education, particularly secondary and senior secondary students. Developing 21st century skill, communication, creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. So these are the important things we are going to highlight as 21st century skill. Then personalized learning, how learning become personalized, tailor-made, taking into consideration needs and requirement of learners. Inclusive education, assessment reform. So besides which, teacher preparation program, we are switching from this standalone colleges to multidisciplinary institutions by 2030, introducing integrated teacher education program. Similarly, for in-service teacher, providing continuous professional development program. So these are some important recommendation in our National Education Policy 2020. So in such a changing policy perspective, what is the role of AI for teacher education? Next. Then your growing use of AI in education. So national strategy for AI for all 2018. This is a document prepared by Niti Aayog where they discuss about the AI policy for the whole country. Like AI integration into educational system, that AI is going to be integral part of our education system at all levels. Then to enhance the quality of education, the quality aspect, to enhance the quality at each and every level, we'll integrate the AI, bridge the existing gap. That means creating the digital infrastructure so that AI facilities of different infrastructure, AI infrastructure, digital infrastructure accessible at the nook and corner of the country. Create opportunity for future ready learners. Tailor-made system, personalized system of learning, all this should be available. Then monitor student progress, identify weaknesses of our education system and rectify them. Provide customized learning path to different type of learners, particularly special need learners, particularly marginalized group. Enhancing engagement. So for learners engagement is concerned, academic engagement is concerned, enhancing them, improving them, and similarly improve learning outcome, because learning outcome, the performance of students is not up to marks. That is why we also integrate the AI for improving the learning performance of children or students at all levels. Then regarding the teacher education, in such a changing perspective, paradigm shift situations, what are the opportunities so far teacher education is concerned? Like curriculum design, we can design the curriculum taking into consideration the present needs and requirement, because many students, many faculties also at different periods of time they ask, we are following a curriculum at present for 2-year B.Ed and 2-year M.Ed course which is 10 years old. We are talking about NEP 2020, AI, all these things, but we don't find any mention in the curriculum also. So curriculum design, it should be very frequently as per the needs and requirement. Then innovative pedagogical practices. We should not confine to chalk and talk methods. Professional development of teachers must be given importance. Real-time feedback in teaching practice. AI also, integrating AI help for real-time feedback to teachers for necessary improvement. Access to resources and material. Multiple resources, multiple level of material available at different levels. At national level, at state level, at district level, institutional level, so that such AI relevant resources we can use. Similarly, global networking and knowledge sharing. We are living in a global era, and networking, global networking is possible through the social media, information and communication technology. We are sharing, discussing, interacting. So this is again AI give a more better platform. Then preparing teacher for future job markets. We should not consider preparing teacher for only our own state, districts or for national level institution. For foreign countries where there is a demand for Indian teachers, we can also prepare integrating AI. Fostering lifelong learning, continuous learning is possible through AI integration. So these are some important opportunities. Then challenges. Under challenges, access and equity, because we are always talking about the digital divides, internet connectivity, still a problem in many parts of the countries. That is where access and equity, how we have access to this digital infrastructure, how easily we access to such type of things, and their availability made available to each and every nook and corner of the country is very important. Second is ethical and data privacy concern. Ethical issues, use of AI. What are the ethical issues? Like to what extent we'll use them, how properly we'll integrate them, what is the pros and cons, all these things must be properly realized so that we can use this AI for betterment of society, betterment of learners. Then resistant to change. Because National Curriculum Framework 2005 categorically remarked that where there is no any significant transformation of education in India, because teacher resistance is the most important factor responsible for such type of thing. So AI integration or any new programs only going to be implemented properly at fruitful ways if we teachers accept it easily and there is attitudinal change. So there is chances of resistance for change, but we must accept AI integration. Then need for continuous professional development and balancing artificial intelligence integration with human-centric teaching. Because in Bangalore, a school introduced the robotic teacher, fast robotic teachers. But artificial intelligence, their use with a humanistic viewpoint must be given priorities, because man is not a machine. Man is the emotional being. So that particular thing is also taken into consideration when you are thinking about AI integration in our teacher education program, in our preparing teachers. So lot of opportunities are there, and as we visualize a Vikasit Bharat 2047, it is a collective effort at each and every levels. We must contribute for such a great goals. With these few words, thank you all for your patient listening.
समय अभाव आपणकर ये महत्वपूर्ण अभिभाषण को आम आहरी शुणिबार प्रयास रखिलु, तथापि शिक्षक शिक्षा व्यवस्था रे कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता तार आवश्यकता और प्रयोग रे शिक्षक भूमिका दायित्व कर्तव्य बोध विषय रे आपण जो भली भाव सम्यक धारणा हमको प्रदान कले से अनुष्ठान आपण पाखे चिर कृतज्ञ। एबे मो अनुरोध करी आज मुख्य आकर्षण आम समस्तंकर मुख्य अतिथि जहाँ को एते समय धरी आमे अपेक्षा करूँ शुणा प्रोफेसर
Chairperson of the seminar, Professor Kumar Pradhan, Principal DPIASE Berhampur, keynote speaker, Professor Pradhan, guest of honor, Professor Vrindavan Misra, former principal of this institute, Professor De, Professor Barik, Professor Sethi, Seminar Secretary, and all other dignitaries present in this seminar hall, faculty members of DPIASE, and dear students. I'm really very happy to be here on this auspicious day of this 2-day seminar on a very pertinent topic, restructuring higher education for global competitiveness under NEP 2020. My previous speakers have highlighted all the areas. I think nothing is left for me. And now it is going to be launch time. I know you all must be feeling hungry. So I will not take much time, but I will try my best to summarize the thing, what exactly we need for this restructuring. What is the meaning of this restructuring? Because we have already gone through the policy, I think completed more than 5 years. Policy was released on 29th July 2020. Completed 5 years. We took more than 5 years to develop the policy. Then we have completed 5 years in implementing the policy. Now we are deliberating on this restructuring. Restructuring means it is not physical restructuring. It is restructuring our curriculum, restructuring our pedagogy, restructuring our assessment process, restructuring our environment, institutional environment, institutional culture. That is why we say transformation. So that is why what we have now we are discussing or deliberating upon. Just we have to understand what exactly we need out of this deliberation. What is our role and responsibility? What we can do? What is the need of our? Because when we are talking about global competitiveness, what does it mean? We have to compete with other countries. Our children should be in a position to compete with the children of other countries. So what type of education we should provide at the school level or at the higher education level so that our student can compete with others. They will not feel inferior to others. So what type of education? Are we satisfied with the education, what we are providing to our students, both in school and higher education level? I think we are not satisfied. If I ask this question, because what we are doing, we are transacting the content. We are helping our students in acquiring mastery over the content, what is there in the syllabus, what is there in the textbook. Our students are securing 100 out of 100. 90%, 95%, 80%, 70%. But when we actually measure their performance, particularly in terms of learning outcome, there's a wide gap. Can our students compete with the other students of other countries with this wide learning gap? The average score in National Achievement Survey in 2021 for class 10 students was 38, below 40%. In board exam, our students score 90%, 100%, more than 70%. What does it mean? Our previous speaker was highlighting about Pratham. NCERT conducts this achievement survey every 3 years. In other countries, they conduct this national achievement survey, developed countries, for higher education. But we don't conduct this survey in higher education. But what is the conclusion? Conclusion is our students, both at school education and higher education, are not having age appropriate and stage appropriate skills and competency. That is, this is true. We have to accept this.
Who is responsible? We all are responsible. We all are responsible. Our classroom is responsible. The way we are transacting the content, that is not going to serve the purpose. That is why what we need a competency-based knowledge orientation. Competency-based knowledge orientation, not content-based knowledge orientation. Competency-based knowledge orientation will address this issue. Really, it will bring about change in the entire system of education, not only in higher education, but also in school education. That is why NEP 2020 has recommended competency-based curriculum, competency-based examination, outcome-based education, criterion-based grading system. All these have been recommended by NEP. So this is clear. As a teacher educator or would-be teacher, what is our duty and responsibility? Our duty and responsibility is to develop the skills and competency among the students, what they need exactly in 21st century. The content what we are teaching, that is not going to serve the purpose. What we are teaching today, what is there in our curriculum today, that will be irrelevant tomorrow. Because the jobs available in the market, when we are students, we had never thought of. Similarly, after 10 years, what type of job will be available, we do not know. So content, what we are teaching, how it is going to serve that? That is why we have to shift our focus from this content mastery to competency mastery. And this competency-based knowledge orientation is the need of hour. That will really bring about change in the entire structure of education. That is why we came out with the learning outcome in 2017 for elementary, then secondary. And at the same time, UGC also came out with the learning outcome in 2020. And NEP 2020 has taken cognizance of this, and our NCF is talking about learning standard. What are the curricular goals? What are the aims of education? What are the competencies we expect our student to attain? What are the learning outcomes? So this is number one. Number two, we are in 21st century. And we all are familiar with digital technology. We have mobile, we have laptop, and our students are more familiar. And in this case, my previous speakers also highlighted on this. What we need digital and technological proficiency. When we're talking about our curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, that means this digital and technology, that digital technology should be an integral part of our curriculum. And we have to develop this digital technological proficiency among the teachers, among the students. And we should take advantage of this digital technology. We are talking about ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and how effectively we can take advantage of this. How can we bring about change in our pedagogical approach? How can we integrate this technology so that we can take full advantage of this and really transform our higher education, and we can make our students technologically and digitally sound. That means they will have the proficiency, and so that they can adjust with any situation. They can convert the challenges into opportunities if they have the skills, if they have the competency. This is number two. That is why we are talking about blended learning. We are talking about integrating technology. All these things we are talking. Third thing, previous speakers also have highlighted, is not something new. What we need? We need interdisciplinary understanding. Interdisciplinary understanding. Why? Because in current scenario, we have subject boundaries. And even in our school stage, in our higher education stage, what we are doing? We have teachers for a specific subjects. We have mathematics teacher, we have science teacher, we have language teachers, we have social science teacher. We are preparing, this is a teacher education institution. We are preparing teachers. What type of training we are giving to our students? We are preparing them to use this multidisciplinary approach in the classroom, interdisciplinary approach. That is why there is a need of this interdisciplinary understanding. And previous speakers also highlighted on this. 64 college. What is the 64 college? Is it interdisciplinary? We have to understand. It was there in our Gurukul system. It was there in our ancient universities, in Nalanda, Takshashila. And what we can learn from that? Our approach was interdisciplinary. Our approach was multidisciplinary. When we say Shakti for college, it is not only art. It is not only singing, painting. It includes the discipline knowledge what we are imparting today. It includes the vocational knowledge, vocational skills what we have neglected. Now, Korea is a developed country because they have taken advantage of this. And professional knowledge is also coming under the 64 college. And the fifth component is a soft skill, how to communicate, how to behave, how to talk. These are integral part of the 64 college. But if you compare it with the current scenario, what we are doing, we are imparting only discipline knowledge to our students, and that is with rigidity. I am a math teacher, I will be teaching math only. Science teacher will be teaching science only. No interaction, no sharing. We are talking about the project-based approach. We are talking about group work, talking about cross-cutting area. That is why NCF has highlighted different cross-cutting areas. And our students should be connected to their root. We are talking about Indian ethos, Indian knowledge system, values, all this. Are we doing that? That is why there is need of developing this interdisciplinary understanding so that we can really bring about a transformation in our higher education system. We have to introduce this multidisciplinary approach. I'll give you one example. In Russia, but now some of friends were talking about that there is a brain drain. Our talents are serving for America, are serving for other developed countries. They're leaving because of many reasons why they're leaving. And what we can do in Russia, I will give you the example of Russia. In Russia, once we visited, because our Honorable Prime Minister visited that institute, he was highly impressed that he wanted that one team should visit. And we visited that institute, and the President Putin is the president of that institute. That is, they have one center for gifted learner. They identify the talent from the beginning to prevent brain drain. And what they do, not like our engineering colleges, what we are doing, we have best talents in IITs. What we are doing, we are providing them knowledge with regard to this technology. That means how they will be good engineers, technocrats. But what they are doing, they are providing all sort of information. Everything was there. When we visited with the impression that it must be good institute in engineering and technology, but when we visited, we found all those disciplines are there. When we're talking about this multidisciplinary approach, 64 college, that art, singing, dancing, painting, and discipline knowledge, all the disciplines, and sports, everything was there. That means they want their intention. You see, president of the country is the president of that center, and the principal of that school will directly talk to the president, because they are identifying the talents and retaining the talent, and very good tie-up with the industries. Because now NEP talking about that internship, there should not be any gap. What is the expectation of industry? What is the expectation of business houses? And what education we are providing to our students? There should not be any gap. That should be proper integration that they are doing. So we have to learn from that. So that is why there is a need of this interdisciplinary understanding. And the fourth one, what do we need now? Our Honorable Prime Minister is highlighting on this. We are talking about startup India, digital India, skill India, make in India. What is the meaning of this? What education we are providing for students? Do you think that it will cater to that expectation? Let them do something. Let them get opportunity to exhibit their talent. And that we can do if we bring about a transformation in our pedagogical process. If we make our classroom more vibrant, it's nothing, only it is in our hand. Without any investment, we can do that. Without any investment, we can make our student creative. Just we bring about a change in our mindset. We are talking about this entrepreneurial mindset. And how can we do that? Let them explore. Let them create something. Let them get opportunity to exhibit their talent. Just we facilitate. We have been propagating this constructivist idea. What is this? Let students take initiative. Let them come out with some new ideas, innovative ideas. When we are talking about innovation, we are talking about research, what we are doing? We are doing research for the sake of research. We are doing innovation for the sake of innovation. And there is a need of doing research, doing innovation to address the need of the society. And when we are talking about all this, that means we have to bring about change in our approach, in our mindset. And we have to integrate skills. Because we are using Russian, Korean products. Why? Korea became independent in 1947, India became independent in 1947. Both the countries were developing country during that time. So now Korea is a developed country, small country. We all are using Korean products. And why it's happening? Because we have neglected vocational education. We have neglected skills. We feel it is for the students who are not doing well in academics. It is for the students who are coming from low socioeconomic background. But that is why policy has taken cognizance of this fact. Every student, before completion of school education, has to acquire mastery over at least one vocation. So that is, and similarly, there will be vertical mobility in higher education. Also, we are going to integrate this. So this is the fourth aspect that we have to keep in mind as a teacher. How can we make our students entrepreneurs? Similarly, in a teacher education institution, when we are preparing teacher, and our teachers should know that. Teachers should know what is the purpose. It is not only to teach mathematics or science. We have to take care of their holistic development. We have to make them entrepreneur. We have to make them good citizen. We have to make them good human being. So that is what that type of vision we should keep in mind, keeping in view the vision of NEP 2020. This is the need of hour. Then another thing, what problem we are facing? Professor Pradhan was highlighting on this. What problem we are facing in our society? What we need? We need a change in our attitude. We need a change in our mindset. And what type of competency? It is not only the mastery over the content or the subject or intellectual competence. We need social competence. We need character competence. That has been highlighted by International Bureau of Education. But what exactly we can say we need social, emotional, and ethical competence. Social, emotional, ethical competence, because we have to make them good human beings. That is why NEP has recommended, even in our IIT is the best institution, they should teach social science. They should teach humanities. Why? Because we have to make them good human beings first. Then they will be good engineer, good doctors, or whatever it may be in professional institutions. So that is why our approach should be interdisciplinary, and so that we can develop their social, emotional, and ethical competence. This is the need of our. Only by making it interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, we can do that. So this should be focus. How to develop this emotional competence? Because what is happening when we are students? I remember we didn't have that type of stress or depression. We don't bother for examination at that time during our days. But now you think how much stress we are giving to our children, and how to overcome this stress, how to overcome this depression. Students are undergoing depression, committing suicide, because we are not making them emotionally stable. We are not making them socially strong. They are not ethically strong. So that is why that type of culture, that type of institutional culture we have to create, so that our student will be socially, emotionally, and ethically strong. That ethical competence we need, that emotional competence we need, because this is the need of our. You take the example, how to make our student emotionally strong. What type of environment we should create inside the classroom? It is not about only the structure. What type of environment we should create? What type of institutional culture we should create, so that student will feel at home, they will feel comfortable, and they will develop fellow feeling, belongingness. And that is why NEP is talking about sport integrated learning, art integrated learning. Why? What is the purpose? So that students will participate in different activities. We can take care of their multiple intelligence. We can provide them education as per their need, as per their interest, as per their aptitude. And really they will develop the competencies which will help them to adjust effectively in the changing scenario. That social, emotional, ethical competency is the need of hour. And along with that, what more we need? You know, India has signed a global agenda in 2015. You might be knowing. In 2015, India has signed the global agenda. By 2030, we have to ensure inclusive, equitable, quality education and lifelong learning opportunities for all by 2030. This is the target. NEP was released on 2020 and India had signed this agreement in 2015. Now it is 26 and we have 4 more years. Can we achieve that goal? Now we are talking about adaptability. We are talking about lifelong learning. So that we have to keep in mind in 21st century what we need. We have to develop that adaptability. Our students should be in a position to adapt to the changing scenario. Because we do not know what type of job, Professor Pradhan was talking about fourth industrial revolution, what type of job will be available in future, we do not know. So they should be in a position to adapt that and they should learn, relearn. And this is time and that we continuously, not only students but teachers, so all the professionals, they should renew their knowledge. They should refresh their knowledge. That is why there is a need of this adaptability and lifelong learning orientation in higher education. Lifelong learning orientation. That we cannot do everything through physical mode. That is why we have to take the help of this open and distance learning. If really we want to provide this lifelong learning opportunity to all, then we have to strengthen our digital system. We have to develop that backbone and we have to provide that opportunity to all the professionals to renew and refresh their knowledge, and our students ultimately can take advantage of that. So these are the things what we need to really transform our higher education, and that will bring about change, and that will make our country a developed country, and we can really make our country a knowledge superpower. Because Professor Pradhan was highlighting the vision of this policy. What is the vision? It is clearly mentioned. Policy has envisioned a system of education rooted in Indian ethos, which will directly transform India into an equitable, vibrant knowledge society, as a result of which India will become a knowledge superpower. We can make our country a knowledge superpower if we take care of all these dimensions. And there is a lot of diversity in our country, that is our strength, not weakness, but a lot of disparity, lot of discrimination. Our students coming from different regions, geographically remote areas, culturally, socially, culturally disadvantaged group, Divyang children, economically disadvantaged group, transgender. So different categories of learners are there. How can we provide them quality education, as a result of which India, we can create an equitable and vibrant knowledge society? That is a big challenge before us. That is a big challenge. Students who are coming from remote areas, basic facilities are not there. And how can we reach them? So that is a big challenge before us. Then we are talking about, if you see the vision, in the vision we are talking about fundamental duties. Why not fundamental rights? That we have to critically analyze. Policy talking about fundamental duties. That means our curriculum and pedagogy must develop a deep sense of respect among the students towards fundamental duties. Why fundamental duties? Duties and constitutional values. It is not related to cognitive domain. It is related to feeling. It is related to affective domain. So that is why as a teacher, educator, it is our moral responsibility to strengthen the affective domain of our children. Let them feel for others. Let them feel their responsibility as a citizen of this country. As a student of this institute, as a teacher of this institute, we all should feel our moral responsibility. And we should be conscious of our duties. We all fight for our rights. We know what are the rights, but we have forgotten our duties and responsibilities. So that is why policy is talking about. And with regard to this policy is, if you see the national curriculum framework, is talking about institutional culture. Policy is also talking about institutional culture in that inclusive section. That we have to create a different culture. What type of relationship we have with our students? We cannot develop the emotional and social competency without bringing about change in our institutional culture, because our students are observing us. Students are observing us. We are the role model before them. So what role we are playing, how we are talking to them, and what sort of relationship we have with our students, and what type of relationship we have with the community, what type of relationship we have with the parents, and all the stakeholders. That matters. So that will help us to develop the emotional competence among the students. They should feel comfortable. That is why we have to bring out change in the institutional culture. This is the need of hour. And in the vision, one thing I will tell, and I will stop, it is going to be 12:15. By policy in the vision, it is clearly mentioned that we have to instill a deep sense of pride in being Indian. Pride among the students in being Indian. What does it mean? We all Indians are sitting here. Why policy talking about this? Developing, instilling a deep sense of pride in being Indian. What does it mean? Indian in true sense. Indian not only in blood and color, Indian in spirit, Indian in intellect, and Indian in deed, Indian in action. So why policy is highlighting on this? Because it is because of the Macaulay Minute, what was the intention, and that is why policy has highlighted this. So keeping in view this vision, and we have, policy has recommended some guiding principles, fundamental guiding principles that that is, we're talking about holistic multidisciplinary education, talking about no hard separation, talking about equity and inclusion, talking about learning outcome. That is, this is the best. If you see the essence of the policy, we are talking about equity and outcome. Equity, not equality. Provide the facility as per the need of the students. And outcome, focus should be on outcome, not on the score, not on the mark, the competency, skill, what they need in 21st century. So that is why, keeping in view the vision, policy has given some guiding principles, and accordingly there is change in the structure both in school education and higher education. And overall, we are talking about now this multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approach in higher education, because it will really bring about a change in this rigid system, and we can introduce it not only in teaching learning process but in research, multidisciplinary research to address the need of the society. It is not disciplinary research just for the API, it is a multidisciplinary research to address the need of the society, to prepare our students to face the challenges of the society, and how effectively others can take advantage of our research. That should be our concern. That is why a lot of focus on research. So these are the some of the things that has been highlighted by the policy. If really we want to implement the recommendation of policy, then we have to first bring about change in our mindset. Whatever, it is not that something will come from the heaven. We are sitting here in DPIASE, and what we can do to implement the recommendation of policy. What type of change we can bring about in our classroom to make our student more creative, to make our student introduce this multidisciplinary approach when they will be teachers. How can we make our approach interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary? We should do. That is the expectation of this seminar, because we are deliberating. But now time has come, we will deliberate and we have to implement. If we can implement, then this seminar will be successful. If we cannot implement, we'll go on delivering, then the seminar will be of no value. So that is why we have devoted 2 days. Now time has come, listen to all the speakers, try to implement what you have learned during this seminar. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I feel privileged. Principal Professor Pradhan has invited me, and I am also grateful to all the faculty of this institute, all the students of this institute. You have listened to me, so thank you, and hope we'll do something to take our country to a new height. Thank you.
अशेष अशेष धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर सेनापति महोदय। शिक्षा पद्धति रे किए केते नंबर रखिला ता बड़ कथा नुहे, मात्र सामग्रिक विकास केते होई पारला ताहाको आधार करी एकविंश शताब्दी रे ये प्रतियोगितापूर्ण परिस्थिति रे धंदामूलक शिक्षा को आधार करी किपरि जणे छात्र समग्र भाव में तार दक्षतार विकास करि परिबा सहित जीवन व्यापी शिक्षार जो आवश्यकता को आपण एठारे उपस्थापित कले, निश्चित भावे आम समस्त ताहा प्रेरणार उत्स हेबो। आउ थरे आमे समस्ते अनुरोध करिवु मुख्य वक्ता महोदय को लागि करताळे देई तांको आउ थरे आमे सम्मान करिवु। एबे ये कार्यक्रम रे जे सभापतित्व करूचंती अनुष्ठान रो मुख्य ये कार्यक्रम रो पृष्ठपोषक आमर प्रिय अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर मनोज कुमार प्रधान महोदय को मो मंच को स्वागत करी से तांकर सभापति पूर्ण अभिभाषण रखी।
धन्यवाद दिलीप सर। समय प्राय अतिक्रांत, मो गला भी अति भल नहीं, प्राय 15 दिन धर की सेमिनार प्रिपरेशन टिके खराब है। बाय द वे, रेस्पेक्टेड चीफ गेस्ट of this great event, Professor Rushikesh Senapati sir, Reverend Chief Speaker, Professor Nityananda Pradhan sir, former Principal R.I. Bhopal, respected my Guru, Reverend Dr. Vrindavan Chandra Mishra sir, respected my elder brother, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Dey sir, former Principal City Baleshwar and University Baripada, respected my friend, Professor Dr. Garuda Barik, Principal of Dr. PMIAC Sambalpur, respected Professor Dr. Devendra Kumar Sethi sir, convener of this great event, respected seminar secretary, my student Deepak Kumar, and other respected invited guests from other institutions, other places, like my friend Professor Purnachandra Behera from City Angul, Professor Balabhadra Jana, my friend from City Angul, Associate Professor, and Research Scholar JRF's Research Fellows, my Research Scholar Joymala Sethi from City Baleshwar, my Research Scholar Pushpamala Tripathi from Baleshwar, Trupti Women's College, she is a lecturer there, and I can see a galaxy of the intellectuals. President University Nikunja sir from the Med Institute, Special Education. With him, what interesting. So far as my speech is concerned, just I want to say this much, sir. What the personalities you are just looking at on the dais, they are not the simple personality. If you have, we are very much fortunate. Perhaps we have done very good things in our past that this type of personalities are available with us. Sir, when you keep your feet in this soil of this college, from that moment our college become pious. From that moment our college becomes very much sacred and it becomes golden. As Prabhu Ramachandra put his sacred feet on the boat of the boatmen, you might have heard. That boat became gold. So we have become gold with the touchstone that is having in your hand. So I, on behalf of this college, as the principal, I owe my best regards to you for your kind presence and directing, advising, and guiding our students and other intellectuals of this college and coming from various places. These deliberations will go a long way in yielding positive harvest in future. So, without wasting the time, again, sir, you keep visiting this college and pour your blessing on us, on the students, so that they will be something in future. So, without wasting time, I request to provide the vote of thanks, and after that, by 2:30 it should be finished. After that, we will go for lunch, and after half an hour, we will be coming back for the valedictory session. Thank you, sir. Again, thank you for my friends and others coming to this. Thank you.
आपण को जेते धन्यवाद देले मध्य भाषार अभाव हेबो कथा अपेक्षा काम को आपण बेसी गुरुत्व प्रदान करंती जहांकर निर्देशन रे ये प्रतिटी कार्यक्रम आज रूपायित से महान व्यक्ति जो मानकर आज गोटे छात तले जोड़ीबार आपण प्रयास करिसंती तेणु आपण को आम ये अनुष्ठान तरफ निश्चित भावे आमे समस्त आपण कार्य दक्षतार प्रमाण रखिछु एवं आशा करिबु आगामी दिन में यहाँ ठारू आहुरी अधिक भल भाव कार्यक्रम केमती सफल रूपायन होई परिबो निश्चित भाव में समस्त आशा करिबु। धन्यवाद। एबे आनुष्ठानिक भाव धन्यवाद अर्पण करबा पई अनुष्ठान रो सहकारी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर संतोष जेना महोदय को मो मंच को आह्वान करिबी से धन्यवाद अर्पण करबी।
A very good afternoon to all. It is my great privilege to propose the vote of thanks at the end of the inaugural session of this 2 days national seminar. At the outset, I express my sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Professor Hrusikesh Senapati sir, for gracing this occasion and for his inspiring words which have enriched this academic gathering. I would also like to bring to your kind notice that we had an MOU with RI Bhubaneswar, and sir played a vital role in making it possible so that RI students came to this institute and they remain for many days. Thank you so much, sir, for making it possible. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our keynote speaker, Professor Nityanand Pradhan sir, former principal RI Bhopal, for his beautiful keynote address. He beautifully highlighted the synergetic interdependence between Industrial Revolution 4.0 and Educational Revolution 4.0, emphasizing the importance of 21st century skills, experiential learning, and the vision of Viksit Bharat. His reflection on vocational and employability skills, along with the significance of MSMEs, Brindavan Charan sir, Misra sir, for his gracious presence and valuable remarks. My heartfelt appreciation goes to Professor Sanjay Kumar De sir and Professor Garudadhar Barik sir for their esteemed presence and effective deliberation. I would like to express my deep gratitude to our respected patron and principal, Professor Manoj Kumar Pradhan sir, for his constant support and guidance. I also extend my sincere thanks to the convener of this seminar, Professor Devendra Kumar Sethi sir, for his leadership and tireless effort in organizing this academic event successful. Finally, I thank all the organizing committee members, faculty, staff, invited guests, research scholar, volunteers, participants, my technical team, and especially to Dilip sir, who swiftly managed the activities in the particular thing, without whose cooperation we can't able to make it a grand success. With this word, I conclude my vote of thanks. Soon after this lunch, we will be gathering here at 3:30 p.m. to have our technical session. Thank you so much.